Chopping that on the ground, making the play is the first baseman, Landon Moran, who makes the easy flip to Itsuki Takimoto for the game's first out. And hello and welcome to the Kettleers Radio Network. I'm Alex Rocco, joined alongside by my broadcast partner, Joe Pratt, here from Eldridge Park in Orleans, as Cotuit squaring off against the Orleans Firebirds. As digging in for the second at-bat of the game is the left fielder, Brandon Compton. Getting the start for Orleans is the righty, Itsuki Takimoto, making his second start this summer, his ninth appearance. The first pitch in there for called strike one. So Compton falls behind in the count 0-1. The fourth meeting between the Kettleers and the Firebirds so far this season. Cotuit leading the season series 2-1. As the 0-1 pitch runs too far inside for ball one, even the count up at 1-1. Takimoto, the righty, comes set, takes a long look in, deals the 1-1 pitch. This one hitting a straightaway center field. Backing up just a moment, and now running in is Chris Barr to make the grab for the second out.
Yeah, apologies for getting out of the gates a little bit slow there today, experiencing some technical difficulties for the start of the game here in Orleans. But the first time that we're here all the way, or you have to go all the way back to game 2 of the season. And the man who's at the plate enjoyed a good day at the plate. He knocked a home run, his first of the summer, and now up to 5 since the first time we've been here at Eldridge Park. It's Devin Taylor.
The first pitch from Takimoto to Devin Taylor. Looked at for a called strike one. And, Joe, why don't you run us through the Kettleer lineup? Yeah,
it'll be Devin Taylor, the 3-man in the order right now. Matt Klein is on deck batting 4th. Jaron Advincula at 5th. Tyler Cerny bats 6th and plays shortstop. After that, Nathan Hall, Nolan Araki, and Luke Hansen at 7, 8, 9.
Taylor quickly down on the count 0-2 here against Itsuki Takimoto, who's looking to work a 1-2-3. Top of the first. The righty comes set, kicks and deals. High fastball laid off for ball one. So Taylor staying alive. Orleans aligns defensively. Austin Smith getting the start in left field. Chris Barr in center field. Ben Ziegler in right from third to first is Hudson Shoup, Lorenzo Miola, Mike Mancini, Landon Moran. And getting the start behind the dish is Ian Doherty. As Taylor, it's a foul ball. Off the net right in front of us, rattled our crowd mic there. So Taylor staying alive on the 4th pitch of the at-bat. Currently hitting .273 this summer. Takimoto, the long look in with the red glove. Swing and a miss. He got him. A 1-2-3 top of the first for Itsuki Takimoto, getting Tanner Thatch, Brandon Compton, and Devin Taylor. As Cotuit goes down 1-2-3, and we'll step aside for a quick break here from Eldridge Park.
Operating on Cape Cod since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Osterville.
Welcome back to Eldridge Park. After a 1-2-3 top of the first, it's time for the Orleans Firebirds to take their first swings against the Cotuit starter Michael Ebner. And Joe, how do Orleans line up?
It'll be the third baseman, Hudson Shoup, out of Gonzaga to face him first. He's batting leadoff. Ian Doherty after him out of Oklahoma State. The catcher bats second. Ben Ziegler Namoa bats third. In right field, he's out of Hawaii. Landon Moran in the cleanup spot at first base. Austin Smith bats fifth against Ebner. Chris Barr will be the sixth man out of Army. He plays in center field today. And 7, 8, and 9 will be Lorenzo Miola, Mike Mancini, and Evan Griffiths batting ninth.
They're going to square off against the righty Michael Ebner, who's had such an impressive season. The Cape Cod League All-Star has a 4-0 record, a 1.83 ERA. In his first 7 appearances, all coming out of the bullpen, has also picked up a save. But Ebner making his first start so far this summer, and he gets set to square off against the left-handed hitting third baseman Hudson Shoup as the sun starts to peek through the clouds overhead here at Eldridge Park. It was a sunny day so far, and then about 20 minutes before first pitch, the clouds rolled in. The sun starting to peek through as the opening pitch from Ebner runs too far low and in tight against the lefty for ball 1. The second time Ebner has pitched against this Orleans squad. The first time came all the way back in Game 2 of the season as he falls behind in the count 2-0 as the last pitch missed beneath the knees. In that game against Orleans, Ebner through 3 innings didn't allow a base runner and struck out 4. As Shoup goes the opposite way, hits this one down the left field line. Giving it a run is Brandon Compton and Nolan Araki, but that drops foul.
Yeah, it was 9 up, 9 down for Ebner the last time we were out here, and that was the first time that he appeared in a game so far this summer for the Kettleers. Since then has gone on to have a phenomenal campaign, and it's nice to see him get into a starting role and know this is a role that he wanted to maybe creep into, and he gets his first one today.
The 2-1 chopped on the ground the opposite way to Naraki at third, who backs up, fires a seed over to first in time for the first out, so Hudson Shoup is retired.
You know, it's amazing to think that he really hasn't appeared as a starter yet this summer. I mean, a guy who's been so efficient out there. He has pitched to a lot of weak contact, has pitched to contact, but hasn't given up a lot of hits. I mean, the lowest whip on the team by a great margin at 0.55 and continuing to improve upon that mark here.
Ebner has allowed just 4 hits in 19 2/3 innings pitched coming into today as the opening offering to Ian Doherty taken for ball 1. Ebner just 4 hits, 4 runs. Has hit 2 batters, walked 6, and struck out 21 over his first 7 appearances as Doherty fouls one just to the right of the press box. Taking a look at how Cotuit aligns defensively, Brandon Compton gets to start in left field. Nathan Hall is back in the lineup. He starts in center. Devin Taylor gets to start in right field. Nolan Araki mans the hot corner as the 1-1 offering waved through and missed by Doherty. Tyler Cerny gets to start at shortstop. At second is Jaron Advincula. Luke Hansen plays first. Tanner Thatch is the DH. And getting the start behind the dish is Matt Klein as a beautiful breaking ball looked at for a called strike 3. So Doherty down on strikes, and he's the second gone here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, first punch out of the day for Michael Ebner, and boy, what a perfect pitch that was. Low and inside, as you mentioned it, had that on a string. Started up towards by the left shoulder of Ian Doherty, and then quickly, sharply breaks down to low and inside, right around his left knee. So 2 quick outs for Ebner, and 1 out away from escaping the first.
Now it's the lefty Ben Ziegler, who's hitting third in the Orleans lineup. Takes a big cut and waves through the opening pitch from Ebner. Hitting .304, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs, playing in his 28th game so far this summer, but got off to a slow start. 1-16 in his first 10 games as he fouls a pitch right back into the net, just to our right. As Ebner quickly up in the count 0-2 against Ziegler.
Yeah, Ziegler, a tough start to the summer, but has really figured things out, made a home in the middle of this lineup for Kelly Nicholson.
Ebner, the righty out of the stretch, deals the 0-2, taken for ball 1 high and away. To the lefty, Ziegler. Such a dangerous top 3 in the Orleans lineup. Hudson Shoup, Ian Doherty, and Ben Ziegler. All hitting over 300 as Ziegler goes the opposite way. That'll drop down in front of Brandon Compton in left field as Ben Ziegler reaches for the first time today as he's the game's first base runner with a 2-out single.
Well, ever since we returned from the All-Star break, allowing 2-out base runners has really been an issue in these last 2 games. Of course, we saw 3 out of the 5 Brewster runs score on Monday night with 2 outs in the inning. We saw the offense get going for Harwich last night with 2 outs in the 4th, so that's not something that you want to do, but Michael Ebner has done a great job of battling back in games as we've seen this summer, so should be able to get out of this frame here.
Now that brings up the cleanup hitter, Landon Moran, before the first offering to him a pickoff move, but Ziegler back in time. First pitch swinging is Moran. Waves through and misses. Moran playing in his 27th game this summer, hitting .221 with a home run and 9 RBIs. As Ebner working out of the stretch, Kicks and deals the 0-1. This one spiked in the dirt, kept in front by Klein. Staying put at first is Ziegler. The fourth time these two teams are squaring off against each other this year. And Joe, the first three matchups, and if they're any indication of today, should be another close one.
Yeah, for sure. All three games, one-run games, right?
Next offering, fouled away by Moran. Ziegler faked running on the pitch, but Moran fouls that out of play.
It was 2-1 here at Game 2 of the season, and then returned to Lowell Park, a 4-3 loss, and then a 6-5 comeback win for the Ketts at Lowell Park as well. So the second and final time will be here at Eldridge.
The 1-2 taken above the letters, so Moran staying alive, evening the count up at 2-2. Last game played on July 17th, 2 weeks ago from today. Ziegler running with the pitch, the 2-2, fouled away again over our heads, back over our left shoulders. Moran staying alive in the at-bat. The 6th pitch from Ebner, about to be released. Ebner comes set, pick-off move. Ziegler dives back in safely. Cotuit entering today with a 21-12-1 record. Orleans 12-22-0 as Ziegler running with the pitch. Moran hits this one to right field. Tracking over and wandering over to his left is Devin Taylor, who makes the play just about 10 feet from the right field line as Taylor makes the grab. So the 2-out single to Ben Ziegler does not come back to bite Michael Ebner as we're through one here at Eldridge Park. Cotuit and Orleans tied up at 0.
Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor.
Cotuit goes 1-2-3 in the top of the first as now the 4-5-6 hitters set to lead things off. Here in the top of the second, it's Matt Klein, Jaron Advincula, and Tyler Cerny squaring off against the right-handed arm of Itsuki Takimoto, who's had such a dominant season. And Joe, we were talking about this before the game started. Arguably the two best pitchers on the Cape squaring off tonight.
I agree with you. I mean, Takimoto coming into this game a 0.93 ERA. Mikey Ebner at a 1.83, but all of his runs coming in 1 and 2 appearances for Ebner, and it's pretty similar for Itsuki Takimoto, who was really efficient in that first inning. So if you're the Kettleers, you're just going to want to see a bit more pitches here as he's only at 10.
Quick and easy first inning for Takimoto. The first pitch of the second inning, in around the knees for a called strike one against the catcher Matt Klein. Takimoto coming off of an excellent year at Hawaii, where he made 17 appearances, just started 2 games, had a 3-0 record as this one shot back. That'll get over the leaping grab of Lorenzo Miola. That'll drop down in the left center field. Cutting the ball off is Chris Barr, but Matt Klein reaches with the Kettleers first base knock. Here to lead things off in the top of the second.
How about Matt Klein from after the All-Star break going into this contest was 4 for 6, and now 5 of his last 7 at the plate. So just incredible to see the production from him. It's his second start since the All-Star break. Saw him as a pinch hitter last night, and he went 1 for 1, so not skipping a beat.
Klein leading off first as Takimoto steps off the rubber, faked the pickoff move, and Klein steps back in the bag, but that'll bring up Jaron Advincula. Crushed his first home run last night.
Yeah, it looks like Takamoto was not welcoming Advincula into the box with the pitch clock. Got to make eye contact, as does Advincula, and now they'll dig back in and do it again.
First pitch to Advincula, waved on and missed. Advincula took a massive cut, was looking for home run number 2. We've really started to see the power come alive for Jaron Advincula. Back-to-back games with extra base hits. Hit a double against Brewster, a home run against Harwich. As the 0-1 pitch, called strike 2, low and inside. Advincula and the Kettleer dugout disagreed with the call. A lot of fans coming out here at Eldridge Park, aligning the grassy berm down the first base lines. Fans also filling up down the left field line where the Cotuit dugout is situated. Takimoto deals the 0-2 pitch. Advincula fouls that straight into the net right in front of us. So he's staying alive here.
Well, I know we've talked about it time and time again, but you just love the aggressiveness of him at the plate, especially with 2 strikes, constantly fouling off pitches, and a guy who doesn't swing and miss a lot.
Takimoto takes a long look in, now deals the 0-2 pitch. Advincula staying alive again and just proving your point even more, Joe. And when Adele Huffman asked Mike Roberts last night about Jaron Advincula and some of the success that he's had, he talked about his approach with 2 strikes, said he battles, and he battles. And well, Jaron Advincula doing that so far in his first at-bat tonight. Takimoto deals the 0-2 pitch again. Advincula fouls a high twisting ball out of play into the road.
Yeah, it is a great battle by Advincula right here again. So continuing on that path, and this is one of the best contests I think we've seen between batter and pitcher so far this season. One of the most stifling guys on the mound in Takimoto, and one of the guys who's the hardest outs, one of the hardest outs in this entire league, Advincula.
Advincula hitting .404, shoots this one into straightaway center field. Moving over to that ball is Chris Barr, who makes the grab for the first out. Matt Klein retreating back to first. So Advincula retired for the first out here in the second.
But even though it's recorded as an out, still nice job by him to see a lot of pitches. I know we mentioned Takimoto, 10 pitches going into this inning. Now he's up to 19, but all of those pitches were in the zone, had to fight them away and continue to stay up there. But even though Takimoto wins the first matchup against Advincula, it's tough to keep him quiet for an entire night.
Now Tyler Cerny, who draws back into the lineup, didn't play yesterday in the 7-5 loss against Harwich. Takimoto starts him out with a first pitch off-speed pitch. Cerny down on the count 0-1 as Klein takes a 2-step lead off first. High looping breaking ball. Cerny hits this one in the left field. Wandering over to it is Austin Smith at the wall. Will make the grab for the second out. Tyler Cerny hit that ball a long way, but Eldridge Park keeps it on the field of play as Cerny is retired with another long fly ball.
Yeah, Cerny pretty close to a home run there as he got the first pitch. It was a low and inside slider that he swung right over top of. You knew that maybe Takimoto would want to go back to that pitch on the front door side, and he did. It just left it about a little bit over the plate, more than likely what he would have wanted to, but it ends up being the second out.
Was nearly the second home run for Tyler Cerny this year, as attacking the first pitch is Nathan Hall, hitting this to straightaway center field. Backing up is Chris Barr, who makes the grab for the third and final out. So Matt Klein led off the inning with a single, but Itsuki Takimoto works 1-2-3 to Jaron Advincula, Tyler Cerny, and Nathan Hall. So that'll do it here in the top of the second. We will head to a quick commercial break. Cotuit and Orleans still tied up at 0.
Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying.
Welcome back to Eldridge Park. Alex Rocco, Joe Pratt, and we're joined alongside by Jimmy Middleton as Del Huffman couldn't make the game tonight. Jimmy Middleton filling in, who has more on the Kettleers.
Yeah, I'm glad to fill in for you boys today. So Mikey's making his first start for the Ketts this season. After doing a lot of research, having to go into the USC Trojans baseball files to figure out what was going on, this is Mikey's fourth start of the entire year. He pitched 3 times for the Trojans, making 3 starts. I only found 2, but I couldn't find the third. But in those 2, Ebner made a start against the 2024 UC Irvine regional team, where he tossed 3 innings of no-run 2-hit baseball, and he struck out 3. And he also picked up the win of the contest. And then another start, he pitched 4 innings where he gave up 3 hit and 1 run on his way to punching out 5 batters. So, I mean, he's made a couple starts for the Trojans now, just transferring to the Ketts.
Starts out with a first pitch breaking ball against Austin Smith there, and we've seen Ebner used in a lot of different ways tonight, making his first start. As closed out a game, does have a save this year, but has been a stalwart in the back of the Kettleers bullpen as the count evened up at 1-1 to Austin Smith.
Speaking of a save, he also made a save against Utah, where he pitched 4 innings, gave up 1 hit, and then it would be against a team that would face in the Pac-12 tournament as well.
This one hit on the ground to Jaron Advincula at second base, who fields cleanly his throw in plenty of time to nab Austin Smith for the first out. Thanks so much, Jimmy. Excellent work as always, and glad you mentioned that 4-inning save that Ebner had at USC, similar to the save that he picked up here this summer. It was a 4-inning save in the win against Wareham back on July 19th. We didn't allow a hit, just walked 1 batter. The 6th batter, is Chris Barr. Ebner falls behind him. The count is 1-0. Barr hitting .263 so far this summer. As he swings away at the 1-0 pitch, lofting that high and out of play down the left field line. Barr playing in his 9th game so far this summer. Made his Orleans debut against Cotuit. The 1-1 pitch looked at around the knees, called strike 2. So Ebner up in the count 1-2. But Barr, 9 hits and 34 at-bats, does have 4 RBIs, a pair of doubles, a 1-2 offering taken low and outside, even in the count up at 2-2.
Second time we see Chris Barr this summer, 0 for 5 in his start against, and it was actually his Cape League debut this summer. That was against Cotuit.
The 2-2, a high looping breaking ball shot the other way down the left field line. That'll drop down. They're going to call that ball foul. It was shot the opposite way. Tough to see from our vantage point here at Eldridge Park. The Cotuit dugout shooting out in front of our view right down that left field line, but Barr hit it hard, but it just goes foul.
Yeah, it's an interesting field that Eldridge Park is. I believe 440 down the left field line, and then 314 to the right field corner, and then straightaway center, 434 feet. Only 2 players have ever hit a home run to dead center here.
The 2-2 to Barr, taken outside for ball 3, so he works the count full.
Any guesses? I know you could. There's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, I have no idea.
One's the leadoff hitter for the Phillies.
So Kyle Schwarber and who else? As Barr hits this one to straightaway right field. Now coming on in is Devin Taylor, who makes the running grab for the second out. So 2 quick outs for Michael Ebner to begin the bottom of the second.
Kyle Schwarber and Frank Thomas to dead center. 434 feet, and with a wooden bat in college at the time, too. Just incredible.
It is a long way to dead center field here. And 2 absolute mammoth power hitters. Such a cool status. Here it's Lorenzo Miola. Takes the first pitch high and away. Miola, the right-handed hitting shortstop. Hitting 156 this summer. Goes the opposite way to Taylor in right field. Going back to the track. That ball will drop down, kick off the base of the fence. Miola takes the turnaround. First, he'll steamroll his way into second with a 2-out double. So back-to-back innings for Orleans where they have 2-out base hits, and Lorenzo Miola finds himself in scoring position.
Yeah, that was a twisting fly ball for Devin Taylor, who started towards the alleyway but then quickly had to turn towards the right field corner, and that one continued to track away from him as it one hopped the wall, and it's another 2-out base runner for the Firebirds.
The 6th double for Lorenzo Miola this season. Now that brings up the left-handed hitting second baseman Mike Mancini. Lefty-righty matchup here. The opening pitch from Ebner taken outside for ball 1. Mancini hitting .216. This game marks his 28th play this summer. The 1-0 pitch shot the other way off the Kettleer dugout.
And they're immediately asking for the trainer from Orleans, who will race over there. Somebody going down in the Kettleers dugout right there on that foul ball. Just a scary situation there as Mike Mancini. That was a hard hit baseball, and now Kelly Nicholson will walk over to make sure everyone's okay. It's really tough to tell who that was, Alex, but geez, just a scary situation that you never want to see. There's the bat boys who sit right behind the screen right there, sitting on their buckets, but then in front of the dugout there's really no sort of protection other than the railing and nothing other than that, as Mickey Garcia walks out of there right now, and everybody around the Kettleers dugout there is just in shock. So we'll definitely be paused here from Eldridge Park for a moment. I think we'll take a quick break here and be back for the rest of this second inning. Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
Back from Eldridge Park as Michael Ebner taking some warm-up tosses here, and Ebner so far has had some success, but 2 out base knocks have played him, Joe.
Yeah, they have, and I mean, we were just talking about a couple moments ago saying how that's really been the big issue that's plagued this entire pitching staff the last couple days, and it's just struggling to finish innings. I think that's really the biggest thing that you look at and say that this is why a lot of arms have been used in the past couple days. I mean, we saw 3 different pitchers throw in the 6th inning last night, Alex. I mean, that really doesn't happen, but it's ironic because the same exact thing happened last night against Orleans, where Yarmouth Dennis, they walked a lot of guys in the 5th inning. Orleans loaded the bases on a couple of walks, and they brought home 2 runs on walks. And so walks and late inning walks especially can come back to bite you, and hopefully that's not the case here for Mikey Ebner, as there's still an injury timeout for one of the members of the coaching staff of the Kettleers, but Ebner is just going to stay out there, throw some warm-up pitches, and stay ready as the entire infield stands right behind him, and just a difficult situation that we have to talk about here today, but that's baseball and it happens, but just hope that we can get the rest of this game underway pretty quickly.
Definitely a difficult situation that you never want to see in the game of baseball, but Ebner taking a couple of warm-up tosses just to stay ready. But going back to the point that you were making, Joe, 6 pitchers used last night, and how does that set up the Kettleers where they're playing so many games, and they're in game 3 of an 8-game stretch in just 7 days?
Yeah, you're right. Now it's going to be 5 games in the next 4 days after this. So, I mean, when you look at the schedule, you don't want to have to waste a lot of arms, and so that just brings more importance to this start for Mikey Ebner, and finishing innings the best way that he can is going to be super important in getting deeper into this ball game.
Ebner looking to close out this bottom of the second as we're set to resume play from Eldridge Park. Swinging at the 1-1 offering, dunking that down to left field is Mike Mancini. Miola getting the wave around third, sliding in safely. Moving up to second on the throw is Mike Mancini. So it's an RBI single for Mancini, and Orleans takes an early 1-0 lead.
Just a great piece of hitting from Mancini, who had to wait a long time after hitting that foul ball and was down, or was in an even count 1-1, but not trying to do too much. Got a pitch up and away, took it to the opposite field, and that easily scores Miola from second. It was a decent throw from Compton, but that ball kind of sat down and shallow left, so it scores the first run of this ball game.
The 10th RBI of the season for Mike Mancini. Now that brings up Evan Griffiths. High looping breaking ball. Called strike one, so Ebner starts him out 0-1. So another 2-out base hit comes back to bite Cotuit. So we'll have time on the play. Mickey Garcia, the home plate umpire, also telling Michael Ebner the same thing he told Itsuki Takimoto. He has to address the hitter. Mancini stands on second after his 2-out RBI single. The next offering spiked in the dirt, kept in front by Klein. Such a crucial block here, keeping Mancini at second.
I mean, we were just talking about it, just being able to get out of these innings, and I know with the injury delay, things can get kind of screwed up in the mental game, but still got to refocus, get back out there and try to get that third out, but another 2-out RBI against the Kettleers pitching staff today.
2-1 is the count here against the designated hitter and right-handed batter Evan Griffiths, who struggled so far this summer through 21 games. As the 2-1, another breaking ball that Ebner can't seem to have the control on as Klein keeps it in front. Just a 116 batting average for Evan Griffiths, 5 hits and 43 at-bats. Does have a home run and 3 RBIs. As Ebner, the righty has the glove set at the belt, comes home. Another breaking ball, looked at for strike two. And Joe, how much confidence does Michael Ebner have in that breaking ball after spiking 2 of them in the dirt to go back to it in a 3-1 count?
Yeah, just a guy who has a lot of confidence in that pitch. You know that they have confidence in it when they're down in the count and have a 0-0 count.
The payoff pitch, chopped to Advincula at second, who fields it on a hop, is throw in time to nab Evan Griffiths at first for the third and final out here in the bottom of the second, but not before Orleans takes an early 1-0 lead after an RBI single from Mike Mancini. So we'll step aside for a quick commercial break here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there. Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website. Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net.
It's just a few weeks away. Cheer on your favorite Kettleers as they square off with some of the best players on the Cape. This year's game will be played in Falmouth on July 27th. The gates open up at 1:30 p.m. ahead of the 6 o'clock first pitch. All-Star Game tickets can be found at www.capecodleague.com/allstargame. Or you can find out more information about the tickets at the Kettleers store.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there. Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website.
Top of the third here at Eldridge Park, 8-9-1 due up for Cotuit. Here in the top of the third, Orleans with an early 1-0 advantage after the RBI single by Mike Mancini, as Nolan Naraki set to lead things off.
Yeah, Trey Holland headed out on a golf cart here from Eldridge Park, getting a good ovation from the fans, and just hope he's going to end up being okay. That was a scary situation that we saw last inning with the foul ball off the bat of Mancini straight into the Kettleers dugout, and he just couldn't get out of the way of that baseball, as that was a heat-seeking missile in there. So it unfortunately clipped one of the members of the Ketts coaching staff, but it looks like hopefully he's going to end up being okay, and we still got plenty of baseball to be played here from Eldridge.
And he gave a thumbs up to the crowd as he was riding off in the golf cart, so hopefully everything is okay. Just such a scary moment, and a moment that you never want to see, but hopefully we can get back to baseball and everything's all good for the Kettleer coaching staff.
It just shows you how tightly knit this coaching staff is, though, just seeing the looks on Will Thompson's face, Matthew Flaherty, obviously Mike Roberts was in there too, and just seeing how much these guys care for their guys, and obviously the players on this team too, who have been here all summer and developed a relationship with Coach Holland, that it's just great to see that he's seemingly okay at this time.
So now here is Nolan Araki. The first pitch spiked in the dirt, kept in front by Ian Doherty. For Cotuit so far in the first 2 innings was a leadoff single for Matt Klein in the second inning. Massive shift on for the Orleans infield. Just Landon Moran, the only infielder on that right side of the infield. On the left side, the second baseman, Mike Mancini, shaded up the middle. The shortstop, Lorenzo Miola, playing right in the hole, and then the third baseman, Hudson Shoup, playing right down the third base bag. Last pitch from Takimoto, taken for strike one. Count is 2-0 after a pitch clock violation. Hiraki hits this one up the middle, fielded by the second baseman Mancini. His throw low in the dirt dugout by Moran for the first out, so the shift proves vital for the Orleans defense as Naraki is set down for the first out here in the third.
Yeah, great response for Takimoto, who gave up the single to start off the second inning, but 4 up, 4 down since then. Every single ball has been put in play, though, so it's something that's promising for the Kettleers. I mean, you look at the second half of that second inning a few minutes ago, all of those outs in the outfield, hard-hit baseballs, and let's see if Hansen finds his way against Takimoto.
Now here is Luke Hansen, a first pitch breaking ball, taken beneath the knees for ball one. Hansen playing in his 10th game so far this summer. Last played on July 26 against Bourne as this one shot fair down the third base line. That'll roll down the left field line. Wandering over to it is Austin Smith as Luke Hansen will motor his way into second. So it's a 1-out double for Luke Hansen as Cotuit picks up their second hit so far today.
His 4th hit of the summer, his first extra base hit in the Kettleers uniform, and it couldn't have come at a better time after the Firebirds were able to put up 1 run last inning, and they respond here in the top of the third with a runner in scoring position and 1 gone for Tanner Thatch.
Now back to the top of the Kettleer order. It is Tanner Thatch, who's 0 for 1 today, bounced out to the first baseman Landon Moran. It's a 3-1 put out to begin the game as Hansen leads off second. A first pitch fastball waved on and missed by Thatch, who was looking to jack his 9th home run of the summer on that swing.
Could have been his 3rd career homer here at Eldridge Park as well.
Takimoto looks back, now comes home with the 0-1 pitch. Another high fastball that Thatch waves through, so he falls behind in the count 0-2. We've talked so much this year. Thatch's struggles against left-handed pitching, now facing a righty in Takimoto. Could be a recipe for success for Cotuit. Hansen leading off second. Takimoto comes home with the 0-2 pitch. This one hit the opposite way into shallow left field. Austin Smith running in, making the grab for the second out. Hansen staying put on second.
Yeah, we saw Takimoto throwing up in the zone there to Tanner Thatch. All 3 fastballs at the top of the zone, and he was swinging for the fences there on the first 2 pitches. Doesn't really need to, as it's only 360 to the right center field gap, 314 down the right field line, and he was able to hit 2 home runs in a game last year right here at Eldridge Park.
So that'll bring up Brandon Compton, who's also 0 for 1 today. Flew out to Chris Barr in the first inning. First pitch taken low and inside for ball 1. Just the 6th ball Itsuki Takimoto has tossed today. 30 pitches, 24 strikes, 6 balls. Impressive stuff for the righty out of Hawaii, who takes a long look in, now nods his head, gets a sign from Ian Doherty. Has the red glove set at his belt, now kicks and deals. Pitch at the top of the strike zone, taken for ball 2 right at the letters of Brandon Compton, so he's up on the count 2-0. Compton, another productive day yesterday. Had a pair of RBIs, also reached twice on a walk. Did make the final out in the 7-5 losses. This is a towering pop-up hit on the left or right side of the infield, fielded by Lorenzo Miola, who makes the grab for the 3rd and final out of the inning. So Takimoto works in and out of trouble, allowing the 1-out double to Luke Hansen as he's through 3, as we'll step aside for a quick commercial break. Orleans still leading Cotuit 1-0.
The O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 50.
Leading things off here in the bottom of the third, it's the third baseman, Hudson Shoup. The first offering from Michael Ebner looked at for strike one. As it's 1-2-3 here to begin this bottom of the third, Orleans leading Cotuit 1-0 after the RBI single from Mike Mancini. The 0-1 taken outside for ball one. That evens the count up at 1-1 against the Firebird third baseman, who bounced out to Nolan Araki at third base in his first at-bat. 1-1 from Ebner. Big cut on and missed there by the lefty, so Ebner's up in the count 1-2. This is a big inning for Michael Ebner. Ran into trouble last inning, allowed a double to Lorenzo Miola and the single to Mike Mancini. The 1-2 pitch shot down the left field line and foul. Shoup gave it a ride, but just pushed it foul.
Yeah, he's been really productive this season for the Firebirds, moving into the leadoff spot. Wasn't there at the start of the season, but with the amount of turnover that they've gone through, which hasn't been too much, but there have been some key pieces who have left, Shoup has been that guy.
Hitting .333 after his ground out tonight. The 1-2 pitch misses off the plate for ball two. That evens the count up at 2-2. But Shoup doing an excellent job at the top of this Orleans order. Lines one right to Nolan Araki at third, who gloves it for the first out as Shoup hit it hard, but perfectly placed right into Nolan Araki's glove.
Yeah, just like the last time he got out to lead off the bottom of the first inning, it was a ground out to Nolan Araki, but Hudson Shoup in his last 10 games has been swinging a hot bat, batted over .360 in that span, and somebody who has really settled into the leadoff spot for Kelly Nicholson.
Now it's the catcher, Ian Doherty, playing in his sixth game so far this summer. He's gotten off to a tear. Came into today 6 for 15 as the first offering from Ebner. This is low and outside to the righty. A home run, 6 RBIs. Couldn't ask for a better start for Doherty in his Orleans career. Ebner falls behind in the count, 2-0. Doherty did strike out looking against Ebner back in the first inning. As the righty has the black glove set at his belt, now kicks and deals the 2-0 back to the breaking ball. That finds the zone as the count improves to 2-1. Doherty coming off of a season at Oklahoma State where he played in 43 games, making 38 starts as this one chopped on the ground to the shortstop Tyler Cerny, who fields cleanly his throw in plenty of time to nab Doherty for the second out. So quickly 2 outs for Ebner here in the bottom half of the third.
Well, there's another good example of what you were talking about last inning where he fell behind in the count 2-0, but then went with that breaking ball to throw in there and get a first strike in the count, and just falling off the left shoulder of the righty Ian Doherty, and that pitch working really nicely against these right-handed batters. But now he'll face a lefty and Ben Ziegler.
Ziegler had a 2-out single in his first at-bat. Digging in for his second at-bat, takes a big cut on the opening pitch from Ebner, but waves through and misses. Ziegler really swinging a hot bat in the last 10 games, 12 for 32 with 9 RBIs. 9 of his 16 RBIs this year. Swing at the 0-1, hitting a twisting foul ball out of play down the left field line. So another 2 quick strikes for Michael Ebner, who's looking to cap off a 1-2-3 bottom of the third. Ebner 51 pitches so far through 2 1/3. 3 hits allowed, 1 run as Ziegler stays alive, fouling a pitch right back into the net behind home plate. Really good pitching matchup, Michael Ebner and Itsuki Takimoto. Ebner's ERA sitting at 2.01 this season, Takimoto at .81. As the 0-2 pitch taken high and away to the lefty. So Ziegler staying alive here. Such a big turnaround for Ben Ziegler. Started off his season 1 for 16. Over the last 17 games, 20 for 53. That's good for a .377 batting average. Ziegler fouling a pitch out of play again, so he stays alive. with a couple of foul balls. Continuing to elevate Michael Ebner's pitch count. That sits at 54. That's something that we've seen a lot so far today from these Firebird hitters, working deep in accounts, laying off tough pitches. As Ebner kicks and deals the 1-2 pitch, this one grounded hard down the first baseline. Rolls foul. Luke Hansen, the first baseman, gave it a run. But another foul ball, the fourth in the at-bat far.
Yeah, great battle brewing here between Michael Ebner and Ben Ziegler. Ziegler, a guy who's been also very productive in this lineup for the Firebirds. In his last 17 games, has been hitting .377.
Here's 1-2. Another foul ball spoiled over the press box.
That was after a really tough start for Ziegler, too. Just one.
The eighth pitch of the at-bat. Played this past season at Hawaii where he hit .226. The 2-2, a high chopper goes over the Orleans dugout down the first base line. Coming pitch from Ebner, the 60th so far. Count remains at 2-2. Ebner set at the belt, kicks and deals the 2-2 offering. Ziegler goes the opposite way. Going back to the track is Brandon Compton, now running in and making the grab for the third and final out. And it might have taken a while in the at-bat against Ben Ziegler, but Michael Ebner finally gets him out on the 11th pitch as Ebner goes a 1-2-3, bottom of the third. And before we head to a quick break, we'll bring on Shane Patagna, who has more on Jaron Advincula.
Due up third this inning, Jaron Advincula enters tonight's game on a 2-game extra base hit streak, his only 2 in the month of July. The first came Monday in Cotuit's 10-5 win against Brewster, a double to the right center gap past a diving Nick Dumanel to drive in 2 and put the Ketts on the board. And then, of course, he opened the scoring yesterday with his first home run of the summer and first since the Pac-12 tournament on May 21st against Washington with a 391-foot solo shot over the fence in right field. We know that he's not purely a contact hitter, having 9 doubles, 2 triples, and 5 long balls in his freshman spring, and to hold the Cape lead.
Play infield, play a lot of second base, but he's also someone who, when he gets up to the plate, when it's time to hit, he really locks in and gets serious up there, is very passionate about one way or another, whether the at-bat ends in a good way, whether it ends in a good way, whether it ends in a bad way for him. He's going to show his emotions out there, and we'll have a chance to see that later on in this inning.
Advincula hitting third this inning. Excellent work by Shane Patagna. Now it's Devin Taylor, Matt Klein, Jaron Advincula, as Taylor 0 for 1 today. The only strikeout for Itsuki Takimoto in his 3 innings of work as he returns to the mound here. The righty, a high looping breaking ball looked at for ball 1. And Takimoto is such a difficult pitcher to face. Has 5 different pitches in his arsenal: a fastball, cutter, slider, curveball, and changeup, and he's had all of them working so far today. As Taylor takes high and away, as the lefty's up in the count 2-0 here. Takimoto, not just a pitcher, also a two-way player. Hit 3.
Extending upon that streak where he just will not go 2 straight games without reaching base.
Taylor, such a talented hitter, now leads off first. Here's the catcher, Matt Klein, before the first offering to him. Taylor scampers back to the bag. He's back in standing. Klein notched the first Kettleer hit today. A single to lead off. The top of the second, a shot right over the shortstop, Lorenzo Miola. Klein squares around a bunt, pulls back as the offering misses high in the zone, and after that pitch, the catcher, Ian Doherty, will walk out to the mound to talk things over with his starter.
Well, an interesting move there to see Matt Klein square around a bunt there. He's 5 of his last 7 at the plate, has been swinging a hot bat, and he's really a guy who will do anything Mike Roberts will tell him to if he thinks it'll help the team win, and a guy who is super passionate about catching and someone who gets the scouting reports on the other team's players, is always talking about the other team's players with the pitcher. I mean, you have to assume that when he's not up there at the plate, he's communicating with Mikey Ebner and whoever's pitching in the dugout. And so it's just great to see him be that productive as a catcher, but also with the bat in his hands.
Klein laid down a bunt single 2 games ago. This one hit on a line to straightaway center field. Running in is Chris Barr, who makes the grab for the first out. So another hard hit ball off the bat of Matt Klein, but this time it just finds the leather of Chris Barr.
Yeah, they've been hitting the ball hard against Takimoto. It's just been finding the fielders for Orleans so far. He only has one strikeout. That came back in the first inning. You look at the 3 fly balls in the second inning, a couple of fly balls last inning, but these are hard hit baseballs. And now Jaron Advincula and Takimoto will do battle once again here.
Jaron Advincula 0 for 1 today with a fly out to Barr in center field. Vincula's batting average still sitting at 400. Leads the league in batting average. The first offering to him, Advincula, fouls it straight back over our heads into the net. And a high net over our heads here at Eldridge Park.
It is.
Might be the highest in the league.
Bourne's got a pretty tall net.
That
YD,
they do.
Yeah. But you're right, it goes all the way down towards the right and left field corners here.
The 0-1 offering, Advincula hits this one into right field. Coming in is Ben Ziegler, who makes the grab for the second out. So after Devin Taylor reached on the walk, a pair of flyouts of Matt Klein and Jaron Advincula, and quickly 2 are gone here in the 4th.
I think it's one of the better fields on the Cape to catch a game. There's that big grassy berm, the hill on the right side of the field where all the fans are on their lawn chairs and really serving as the home grandstand. There is a small home grandstand just to our right, to the right of the press box, but this is the way that Cape League baseball is meant to be watched. People in their lawn chairs, their beach towels, and Tyler Cerny gets underneath this one.
Swinging at the first pitch is Cerny, lofting a high foul ball down the right field line. Ben Ziegler crashing into the fence and making the grab for the third and final out, as Ziegler had to run a long way in right field. That ball was twisting away from him, but makes the run and grab for the third and final out. So Takimoto surrenders the leadoff walk to Devin Taylor and then gets 3 consecutive flyouts to end the top of the 4th, as the Firebirds are still leading the Kettleers 1-0 from Eldridge Park.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Pitcher's duel taking place here at Eldridge Park. Cotuit has been blanked through 4 innings, as Orleans still leading the Kettleers 1-0, as Landon Moran, Austin Smith, and Chris Barr, the 4, 5, 6 hitters in the Firebirds lineup, set to hit against Michael Ebner here in the bottom of the 4th, as Ebner's first pitch taken for a ball 1 high and outside to the lefty Moran, who's 0 for 1 today with a fly out to Devin Taylor in right field. Ebner, as the glove set at his belt, now kicks and deals. The 1-0 pitch, twisting foul ball out of play to our left. Ebner today has gone 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, 1 run, has walked a batter and struck out 1. Two and 1 is the count after the last offering. This beneath the knees goes back to that breaking ball there, freezes Moran to even the count up at 2-2. And Joe, when Ebner has needed a strike, it's been with the curveball.
Yeah, it has been, and he dials it in right there again and evens it up at 2-2.
The 2-2, another high twisting foul ball down the left field line.
But it seems like, you know, we've talked a lot about his ability to induce weak contact. A lot of that is happening in foul balls today, so really running up that pitch count as it creeps up above 65.
Ebner kicks and deals the 2-2. Going the opposite way is Moran. Charging on in is Brandon Compton, but he'll let that ball fall in front of him. So it's a leadoff single for Landon Moran to begin the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, Moran gets that pitch low and outside, just lifts it over Nolan Araki to tuck it down the line and left. And it's a weak contact single for Landon Moran, but it gets the job done. And also another guy who has started to be more productive, was down with a thumb injury earlier on in the summer, but working his way back, and it's nice to see him knock another base hit for the Firebirds.
Moran takes his lead off first before the first offering a pickoff move. Moran dives back in safely. Dirtying up the white home jerseys for Orleans. Red sleeves, Orleans written in script red across the chest. Another pickoff move. Moran once again diving back in safely.
Yeah, going to want to keep him close. 6 for 6 in stolen bases so far this season.
Taking a big lead off first, holding on him is Hansen. First pitch breaking ball. This is beneath the knees to Austin Smith, who's 0 for 1 today, with a ground out to Jaron Advincula at second. 67 pitches for Michael Ebner. The 68th now will be a new season high. This one chopped on the ground to Advincula at second. Makes the flip for one. The relay throw in time. They got him. A 4-6-3 double play for Jaron Advincula to Tyler Cerny to Luke Hansen, and such a crucial double play for Michael Ebner, as with one swing of the bat, 2 are gone here in the fourth.
Yeah, that's huge right there. Bouncing ball to Jaron Advincula. That was tailor-made for 2, but a seed thrown by Tyler Cerny from second to first base there, and the newly inserted first baseman fielding that one cleanly, and there are quickly 2 gone.
The first pitch to Chris Barr, low and inside. The lefty has to back out of the way. Barr 0 for 1 with a fly out to Devin Taylor in right field. Orleans 4 hits so far. This could be 5 as this one dunking down. Coming on is Nathan Hall, but makes the running grab in plenty of time. That was hitting the right center field alley, and Hall looked like he was shot out of a cannon there. Makes the running grab for the third and final out. So Michael Ebner allowed a leadoff single to Landon Moran, but induced a 4-6-3 double play of Austin Smith. And a fly out to Nathan Hall in center as we're through 4 here at Eldridge Park. Orleans still leading Cotuit 1-0.
At Polar Cave Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will delight your taste buds. Plus, Kettleers kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-477-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South Shore, and the South Coast. Get in touch today by reaching out to RCA at 508-428-0449 or visit in person at 153 Commercial Street in Mashpee.
Willow Bend has been regarded as one of Cape Cod's and New England's premier private clubs and communities for over 25 years. Willow Bend is a family-friendly community right here in Cotuit. They strive for a fun and relaxed lifestyle with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at Willow Bend.
7, 8, and 9 due up here in the top of the fifth, and it's the man who ended the bottom of the fourth with a really nice running grab in center field. Nathan Hall digging in as that ball was twisting right in the right center field alleyway, but Hall makes the running grab for the final out. A first pitch curveball looked at low and outside for ball 1. To Hall, who's 0 for 1. Hit a hard line drive right to Chris Barr in center field to end the top of the second. Still 1-0 here at Eldridge Park as the lights have come on. Hall, a towering pop-up over our heads. That'll get foul.
Producer Cam was about ready to go make a play. You would have had to climb 2 fences, though. There's a road that's right behind us. But that baseball ended up right in the middle of that road. Luckily, nobody was driving by.
That was a towering pop-up there. I think Cam could have gotten there. The 1-1 pitch, Hall thought about swing, lays off, but it's called strike 2 regardless on the high heat. So Takimoto up in the count 1-2 against Nathan Hall. Just 44 pitches so far as Takimoto working into his 5th inning so far. The 1-2 pitch spiked in the dirt outside. So Hall evens the count up at 2-2. And Joe, we talk about this so much of keeping your pitch counts low and saving your bullpen. And Tsuki Takimoto, one of the relievers at the start of the year, now transitioning into a starter, certainly doing that so far. As the 2-2 pitch hit hard on the ground to the shortstop, Lorenzo Miola, with the big shift on, fields cleanly his throw in plenty of time to nab Nathan Hall for the first out here in the 5th.
Another hard-hit baseball there, but right in the glove of Lorenzo Miola. They were playing a big shift on the left side of the infield there with the second baseman Mancini shaded to the left of the second base bag. He's nearly in medium-depth shortstop position right there, and that's where he's going to stay for another right-handed bat in Nolan Naraki.
It's only fitting that the two best friends at Clemson, now both transferring to South Carolina, both getting shifted the same way. As the first offering to Nolan Naraki taken around the knees for a ball 1. Naraki today 0 for 1 with a ground out. The second baseman, Mike Mancini, but that ball was hit right up the middle. Just into the teeth of the shift as a breaking ball waved on and missed by Naraki well out in front to even the count up at 1-1. Naraki swinging a really hot bat as of late. Reached 3 times yesterday. It was 1 for 2 with a pair of walks. So singled in the second inning. Coming off of a 2 for 3 performance in Brewster 2 games ago. But falls behind on the count 1-2 as Takimoto drops in an off-speed pitch that Naraki looked at for strike 2. As the righty peers in, that was the glove resting at his belt. Now with the leg kick deals the 1-2. Curveball taken outside to the righty Naraki to even the count up at 2-2.
Yeah, clearly looking to throw low and away to Naraki. It's a guy who can pull the ball with power, but gonna have to find a way to shoot one to the opposite field if he's trying to knock those for a hit.
All 4 pitches to Naraki, low and outside in the zone, goes back to it there. Spiked in the dirt, kept in front by Doherty as Naraki's worked the count full. Goes down on the count 1-2. And now it's full here with 1 out. Here in the top of the 5th, Orleans still leading Cotuit 1-0 after the RBI single by Mike Mancini in the second. Takimoto with the red glove, now has it set at his belt, kicks and deals the 3-2 pitch. Foul tipped into the glove of Doherty for strike 3, just the second strikeout today for Itsuki Takimoto, and 2 quick outs here in the 5th.
Yeah, it's a low and outside slider that Nolan Naraki's able to get a piece of. It was an emergency swing that he's really just trying to foul that ball away, but nice job by the catcher Doherty to squeeze it, and there's 2 gone now in the 5th.
So now it's the first baseman, Luke Hansen, who notched the second hit of the day for the Kettleers. Takimoto starts him out with a first pitch fastball high up in the zone, and Orleans staying in the same defensive alignment in the infield, where Mike Mancini playing to the left of the second base bag. Takimoto goes back to the fastball. This one catches the strike zone. Count evened up at 1-1 against Hansen, who tallied a double in the 3rd inning. Such a big hit for Luke Hansen, who's been in and out of the lineup. Takimoto goes to the curveball. This one hit on the ground to the third baseman. Fields cleanly his throw in time for the 3rd and final out here in the top of the 5th as Itsuki Takimoto is cruising through the Kettleer order. They've gone 1, 2, 3 here in the top of the 5th as Takimoto has worked 5 scoreless here from Eldridge Park. We'll step aside for a quick commercial break, and when we do, my broadcast partner Joe Pratt will take you the rest of the way on the play-by-play.
Since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there. So we move into the bottom of the fifth inning from Eldridge Park. 1-0 is the score as the Firebirds lead the Kettleers, and the day will be done for Mikey Ebner. He goes 4 innings, allows 1 earned run, gives up 4 hits, and that will be the day for him. And a new pitcher enters into the game. It'll be Bo Simpson, the first arm used out of the pen today by Mike Roberts, and it'll be his first appearance of the summer. So Sampson getting his first appearance right after Mikey Ebner goes 4 strong, so he gets the start, his first start of the summer. We saw him appear in relief plenty of times before that and was incredibly effective, but Alex, a solid day as a starter for the first time.
That it is, and really just made 2 mistakes back in that second inning, the 2-out double to Lorenzo Miola and the 2-out single to Mike Mancini, and it's really just been the only offense so far in this game.
So Sampson kicks and fires. It's a breaking ball that ends up low and inside. Miola takes for called strike 1. So a nice pitch there from Bo Simpson, who tucks that one on the low and inside corner to the right-handed swinging Lorenzo Miola, who's 1 for 1 with a double. Next pitch from the lefty. Fires right down the middle of the plate for a called strike 2, so he's quickly ahead 0-2 on Miola here. Knocked the second hit of the game for the Firebirds back in the second inning. That was with 2 outs, and now a fastball. He fouls it straight back to stay alive at 0-2. But Bo Sampson making his way to the Cape League this summer out of Salt Lake Community College. He appeared in 7 games there during his freshman season this past spring. Now he'll turn and fire from the windup once more, and that one sails too far upstairs. Matt Klein out of the crouch to receive it. And the count will be 1-2 to Lorenzo Miola. Another one of those Firebirds who has been here pretty much since the jump. Now he flares this one high towards the right center field, or the right field corner. Over the line goes Devin Taylor. Now leaning back over the line, he'll make the grab. So that one teetering in between fair and foul territory. Devin Taylor follows it all the way, and it's the first out of the 5th.
Tough grab for Devin Taylor right down the right field line. That ball twisting back in fair territory as it looked like Taylor overran it for a moment and the wind just kind of took it, but Taylor contorting his body and making the grab for the first out.
Yeah, not the first time that we've seen Devin Taylor deal with a twisting fly ball down the right field line. As the new batter is Mike Mancini, and he takes a called strike 1 on the low and outside portion. Mancini also 1 for 1. Notched an RBI single his last time up in the second to bat home Lorenzo Miola, who just made the first out. But now the next pitch is taken outside, and Mancini evens it up at 1-1. Mike Mancini gets back into the lineup today. This is 28th game played, and now time called by Mickey Garcia. The man in the on-deck circle, Evan Griffiths, was maybe a bit too close to being directly behind home plate. Next offering is right in there, though, on the outer edge with the breaking ball from Sampson, and he's now ahead 1-2. So he's done a great job of getting ahead of the first 2 batters that he's faced and working very quickly as he fires a fastball that is flared down the left field line. That will twist out of play, and Mancini fighting in this count, staying alive, and will continue to have this 1-2 count. It's a lefty-on-lefty matchup, and the pitch from Sampson. Fastball ticked foul again, high and to the left, out of play.
Sampson really working with tempo here, just getting the ball, stepping right on the mound and firing, and definitely a change of pace that we've seen so far this summer.
He throws again. Tried to loop the breaking ball in there, but it finished too far upstairs, and Mancini takes. It's 2-2.
Kind of similar to the style that Dylan Hawanitz has out of the bullpen for Cotuit, just getting ready and firing.
The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So down goes Mancini. It's the first strikeout of Bo Sampson's Kettleers career, and there are 2 gone in the 5th.
Really pretty pitch there by Bo Sampson. The off-speed pitch to the lefty, Mike Mancini, had him fishing on the outside corner there, and can't ask for a better start for Bo Sampson. 12 pitches, 9 strikes, and 2 outs.
And now the second righty that he'll have to face, it'll be Evan Griffiths out of Stetson. He takes low and outside on a breaking ball. 1-0 in the count, so the first time that Sampson has fallen behind a batter so far. And he's facing Evan Griffiths, who's 0 for 1. Next pitch. Up and in. Griffiths moves his hands away from that one as it enters in too far up and inside, and it'll be 2-0 to him. But already with a ground out today, but Griffiths getting his second start against the Kettleers this summer, and now he takes one right around the left ankle. That ball taking a high hop after it hit him, but he'll be headed to first. And it's another 2-out base runner for the Firebirds here in this 5th inning.
It's the 4th 2-out base runner so far today for Orleans, and saw that come back to bite Cotuit in that 2nd inning, of course, with the 2-out double to Miola and the RBI single to Mancini. And hopefully for Sampson and the Kettleers' sake, he can strand Griffiths on the base pass, but does have to deal with the tough lefty Hudson Shoup.
Hudson Shoup takes a fastball on the outer portion. Strike one, says Mickey Garcia, even though Hudson Shoup didn't quite like that call. Has made good contact his first 2 times up at the plate. Both of them wound up in the glove of Nolan Naraki. He's 0 for 2. Next pitch. Rolled on the ground towards Advincula at second. He's up with it and throws to first. In time there to get Hudson Shoup by 4 steps and enough to end this bottom of the 5th inning. So Bo Sampson's Kettleers career starts with 2 quick outs, and then he hit a batter, but is able to escape this bottom of the 5th inning. So the Kettleers still trailing 1-0 as we go to the 6th here on the Ketts Radio Network. Bortolotti Construction is your go-to provider for all excavation, drainage, and waterworks services. On top of that, they offer landscape filling materials such as sand, native stone, gravel, shells, and more. Serving Cape Cod and the islands for 30 years, Bortolotti Construction is committed to serving its community. Visit at 45 Industry Road in Marston's Mills or call 508-771-9399.
Coastal Rentals is the place to go for professional landscape and construction equipment. Whether you need tools and equipment for commercial use or for your own projects, Coastal Rentals has what you need. Purchasing gear is also available. Check out Coastal Rentals today.
Cotuit Library. Since its founding in 1874, the Cotuit Library has served its community with an expansive collection that continues to grow. Their staff is dedicated to serving all ages, offering youth events weekly. The library has dozens of events scheduled throughout the summer, so be sure to head to the website at cotuitlibrary.org to see what's coming up next. The library is located right off Main Street. The Cotuit Library, a proud sponsor of the Kettleers.
Be a part of historic Lowell Park and support the Cotuit Kettleers by purchasing a paver engraved with your personal message to be placed in the new Walk of Champions. For more information, visit the Cotuit Kettleers website. The top of the lineup for the Kettleers is coming up to bat here in the top of the 6th inning as they trail at 1-0. Tanner Thatch, Brandon Compton, and Devin Taylor will face Itsuki Takamoto, who works into his 6th inning of work, has so far thrown in 5 frames. Only 2 strikeouts, but done a nice job of cutting down these Kettleers batters. Just allowed 2 hits, 1 walk, a pair of Ks, and as mentioned, so far 5 completed innings. And here's Tanner Thatch. The left-handed bat is 0 for 2 today. But after the All-Star break going into this game was 4 of his last 10. A double and an RBI, and has enjoyed hitting at this ballpark so far this season as well as last season, as he'll take a breaking ball low and inside from Takamoto. And he's ahead 1-0, but Tanner Thatch, as mentioned earlier on in the broadcast, hit 2 home runs here at Eldridge Park last season. Those were 2 of his 3 homers in 2023, but now he gets underneath this one, pops it up down the left field line. Charging in is Austin Smith. He'll settle under it and make the grab for the first out of this 6th. So despite getting ahead in the count, Tanner Thatch knocks the second pitch he sees from Takamoto to left for the first out.
We've seen Takamoto attack Thatch up in the zone, and with his big swing there, really just getting under pitches and back-to-back flyouts to Austin Smith in left field, and just a quiet night for Tanner Thatch. But we've seen this a couple of times where he goes 0 for 2 and launches a couple of hard-hit balls, so we'll see what Thatch has in store.
Brandon Compton digs in. Takes a ball outside. As the wind picks up here at Eldridge Park, Brandon Compton is also 0 for 2. Takamoto throws. It's tipped into the glove of Doherty, who squeezes it, and it'll be a 1-1 count on Brandon Compton. But Itsuki Takimoto works into his second start so far this summer, has already appeared in 8 games, and it really was Takimoto and Mikey Ebner who were vying for the reliever of the year candidate earlier on in the season, but now both making their way into starting roles. As that one's dotted on the outer portion, and Compton is back to 1-2. But we knew going into it that this would be one of the best pitching matchups we've seen all year, and boy, has it not disappointed. 2 hits for the Kettleers, 4 for the Firebirds, and they lead at 1-0 as Compton shoots that one foul down the left field line. It'll bang off the netting and go towards the corner, and he'll stay alive at 1-2. They just haven't been able to find green grass on Itsuki Takimoto, been able to make good contact with the baseball as he's only struck out 2. But credit this infield and outfield for Orleans. Next pitch to Compton, taken in the dirt. He takes all the way and evens up the count at 2-2. So Takimoto works into his 6th inning of work, has climbed the ladder plenty of times against Compton so far, just as he did with Tanner Thatch. And now the 2-2 pitch, low and inside, taken for ball 3, barely missed there. But it'll be a full count on Brandon Compton, and now Takimoto with that pitch, his 63rd, the most he's thrown in a single game this summer. He comes set with the red glove in front of his face. Now he brings it down to his belt, and the pitch. Compton hits that one hard on the ground past second base. Over to get it is Mancini. He backhands it, throws, it goes up the line. Back to the fence there, but Compton will stay at first with the infield single.
It was just a really nice play to get to that ball by Mike Mancini. He was rocketed right up the middle there as Mancini wandering over, making the strong throw, but just getting by the first baseman, Landon Moran, and a much-needed base runner for the Kettleers.
It's their first base runner since the leadoff man in the 4th inning. It was Devin Taylor. He reached on a walk, and now he digs in for the 3rd time against Takimoto, who comes set with the runner on first. Compton takes a short lead there, and Taylor watches a fastball get dotted on the outer portion for a called strike 1. So that put an end to a 7-pitch at-bat for Brandon Compton as they work deeper into this start against Itsuki Takimoto. 44 of his 65 pitches have been thrown for strikes, though. That one a ball, low and outside, 1-1 the count to Taylor. But Takimoto, hailing from Japan, making his way to Hawaii for the start of his college career in 2023. He's set. Taylor takes a big cut at that 1-1 pitch and goes back to 1-2. But Takimoto went to the University of Hawaii not knowing too much English. Enrolled there in the spring of 2023, then began to learn English. And then it really helped him when he played in the West Coast League, Collegiate Summer League there, where he played for the Portland Pickles, and that helped him learn the English language a lot and make the transition into college ball a lot easier. But that transition is about having that relationship between the teammates on your team, and needless to say, he's got the baseball part of it down as he enters into this ball game, going into it with a 0.93 ERA, and with 5 scoreless frames already continues to lower that mark.
It's all the way down to .73, just impressive stuff from the righty out of Hawaii.
He comes set, takes a look at first, and the pitch to Taylor. Misses everything upstairs above his shoulders, and he'll run this count full. So Brandon Compton takes the lead at first. Devin Taylor is 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk. And Takimoto is set once more. Now he'll throw back to first, and Compton is in there standing up. Takimoto was asked in high school, what are the great moments that he really wants to be in? As this one is launched right over his head, bounced to second towards Miola. His flip to second for 1 is in time. The throw on to first is not, as Devin Taylor beats it out up that first base line, but a fielder's choice is able to get the second out of the 6th.
It's a really nice snag by Lorenzo Miola. That ball was shot right back up the middle and almost turning two there. Really good play by Miola just to keep that ball in the infield, and crucial second out for Takamoto.
But his senior year of high school, Itsuki Takamoto played at Chase Field, the home of the Arizona Diamondbacks that season. That was in last summer's Perfect Game Showcase event. Was able to showcase his skills pitching against some of the top high school prospects in the United States, which is something that he wasn't able to do before, as Matt Klein steps in and takes a breaking ball outside for ball one. But he was used to playing in front of a big crowd, as more than 40,000 fans were at a high school tournament that he played in Japan as a senior in high school. So really nothing new to the big stage is Itsuki Takamoto, who comes set once more. His throw to Matt Klein is rolled on the ground towards first, a couple feet in foul territory. Gloved by Moran, but Taylor will head back to first, and Matt Klein falls back in the count. 2 strikes are on him now. Excuse me, it's a 1-1 count on Matt Klein. He checked back at first on Devin Taylor, who stay put there. But Takamoto just trying to figure out a way to end this top of the 6th frame. Has already pitched 5 2/3 scoreless, and now Matt Klein stands in his way, trying to get that final out for him seemingly, as Devin Taylor is back into first base standing up safely. But he's throwing against Matt Klein, who is the first Kettleer to notch a base hit against Takamoto today. He's 1 for 2. The pitch. He'll take low and outside on off-speed pitch and take strike 2. 1-2 count on Matt Klein from Itsuki Takamoto. That was the 73rd pitch he threw today. 2 strikeouts, now 3 hits. And Devin Taylor with a short lead over at first as he comes set. The lefty Klein awaits, and here it comes. A fastball barely misses on the outer portion. Klein takes, and it's 2-2. It's a good at-bat there for Matt Klein, who since returning from the All-Star break is 5 of his last 8 at the plate. Here it comes. He checks his swing and fouls it straight back into the netting to stay alive on that high fastball from Takamoto.
Joe, you mentioned it earlier, just Matt Klein doing everything right at the dish, helping out this Kettleer pitching staff, but even seeing him lay down a couple of bunts and picking up some bunt singles in situations that usually you want to have a guy swing away with runners on first and second, but Klein opting the bunt and going with the small ball.
That one chopped towards the right side, and that gets through into right field for a base hit. Devin Taylor will put the brakes on at second, but Matt Klein improves to 2 for 3, notching that single just beyond the second baseman Mike Mancini, and they'll have another 2-out at bat here with Advincula digging in.
Matt Klein just continues to rake. He is half of the Kettleers hits today, as he's now 2 for 3. Cotuit just with 4 hits, but this is their biggest moment so far. Runners on first and second, and the first time they've had a runner in scoring position since the double by Luke Hansen all the way back in the 3rd inning. That was the only runner that they've had in scoring position.
Yeah, it was. It was Luke Hansen hit that double, as you mentioned, in the 3rd. And now Devin Taylor gets to second on that single, and there will be a mound visit here between Ian Doherty and Itsuki Takamoto. Kelly Nicholson staying at his post at the first base side. And a guy who has really been able to coach pitching incredibly well was the pitching coach at Loyola Marymount University, and as a coach here at Orleans has helped his team to being one of the best pitching staffs in the CCBL since he took over. 9 times they've been the best staff in terms of ERA since 2002. But Jaron Advincula takes a called strike 1, and he's back to 0-1 against Takamoto. So far, Takamoto has won the first 2 matchups against Advincula. He flew out to center field and flew out to right. He's 0 for 2. The next pitch, breaking ball, chopped on the ground, gloved by Takamoto. He will race that over to first and underhand flip it there to Landon Moran to end this top of the 6th inning. So the Kettleers still trailing 1-0, and Takamoto gets through 6 scoreless innings as we check in with Shane Patagna, who has more.
Mike Roberts admitted he mismanaged the bullpen last night in the 7-5 loss to Harwich, using 6 pitchers and 3 in the 6th inning alone, as Dylan Hwanitz and Max Martzoff faced 3 batters combined before being pulled after a hit batsman and a walk before Colin McKay finished the frame. Cotuit head coach Roberts said to writer Connor Smith after the game, "I told the guys that it was my fault. I didn't manage the pitching staff well, and I don't necessarily know our pitching staff either. Our guys battled very hard the whole way through, but I didn't manage well. Today, the Ketts listed 5 pitchers available on the lineup card, including today's DH Tanner Thatch. Even though the Ketts have already clinched a playoff spot, these last 6 games are still meaningful. But Roberts and the coaching staff are focused on having pitching in place for the postseason rather than a concern over where the team's first-round playoff game will be played on August 6th.
And Shane, that's a great point that you bring up, though, but what do you think needs to happen in this next week to keep a lot of those arms fresh?
I mean, I think we saw an example tonight. Ebner going 70 pitches, 4 full innings. That's exactly what the doctor ordered after last night's game. There was COVID sweeping through the team. Luis Misla and Aiden Hunter were dealing with it. Misla tested negative today, though, and is ready to go, I'm told. But it's going to be eating innings and really 3-3-3, using as little as arms as possible. And in a 1-0 game like tonight, things are going to plan.
Yeah, they really are. And Bo Sampson worked through that first inning of work and got through it unscathed, and now he works into his second full inning of work, and he'll face the middle of this Orleans lineup. It would be weird if he was facing his own team, but he's making his debut, and the lefty will face Ian Doherty to start off this bottom of the 6th. So thanks again, Shane. Great information on the Kettleers bullpen, who it was interesting last night when Mike Roberts decided to go to the bullpen twice in that 6th inning. Clearly not something that he'll like to do in this 6th inning, as the first pitch from Sampson misses up and away on Ian Doherty, and he's ahead 1-0. Doherty today is 0 for 2, a strikeout and a ground out, and the next pitch from the lefty is a fastball at the top of the zone for a called strike 2. But Bo Sampson enters into this ball game. We saw, as Shane mentioned, Max Martsolf get into the game yesterday, making his debut for the Kettleers, and that ball is lifted foul to the right side, and it'll be a 1-2 count on Ian Doherty. But Sampson getting his debut, and the next pitch is low and inside, 2-2. And he is the 43rd different arm used by Mike Roberts and the Kettleers so far this summer. Just incredible. Next pitch to Doherty, hits him in the left thigh, just above the left knee. It was a breaking ball that just hooks too far inside from Sampson. And the Firebirds will start off the 6th inning with a base runner.
It's the second hit by pitch for Bo Sampson so far today. And just like you said, Joe, running too far inside, and looked like Sampson just lost the handle of that pitch, plunking Ian Doherty. And base runners have really been hard to find so far in this game. Both teams with 4 hits, but Orleans getting the leadoff man on here, and for their sake, their hottest hitter, Ben Ziegler, up.
Ziegler lays down the bunt. Sampson's out to get it. He'll throw to first in time there, but a perfectly placed sacrifice bunt by Ben Ziegler as Ian Doherty advances to second, and there's one gone.
Such a selfless play by Ben Ziegler there. He was really swinging a hot bat. Was 1 for 2 coming into today, and lays down a bunt to move Ian Doherty in the scoring position. Now you have your 4-5 hitters due up, Landon Moran, Austin Smith, who have hit the ball well so far today.
Here's Landon Moran. The lefty takes a fastball up and inside, backs up out of the way of that one, and it's a 1-0 count to him. This is 27th game played of the summer. He's 1 for 2. And a guy who was dealing with a thumb injury at the end of last week, and he'll take another breaking ball low and outside. It'll be 1-1 to him, or 2-0, excuse me. But battling that thumb injury, it left a gaping hole in the outfield for Kelly Nicholson. Only 3 outfielders on this roster. Landon Moran was one of them, as he takes a big hack at this breaking ball from Sampson, and he goes back to 2-1. But he said it felt amazing to be back out there with his guys, and even though he's been fighting through injuries throughout the summer, it's truly feels great to be back in the swing of things as he checks his swing there. And it didn't matter if he went around or not, as Sampson dials in that breaking ball in there for strike 2. So it's a 2-2 count on Landon Moran with the runner on second. Sampson comes set, takes a peek back at Ziegler there, and this is a high chopper towards first base. Hansen trying to forehand it, but it evades his glove. Goes down the right field line. Doherty comes in and scores from second. Taylor's throw into Advincula, the cutoff man, will be cut off, and into second goes Landon Moran with an RBI double.
A high chopper off the bat of Landon Moran right to Luke Hansen at first base, who's making his first start as a Kettleer first baseman, and a little bit of inexperience plaguing Hansen there. Tried to glove that on the forehand. That ball just hopping over his glove and right down the right field line, and putting a ball in play. Landon Moran does that and picks up the second run for the Firebirds.
So another runner in scoring position, still with one out in this inning for Austin Smith, who takes a called strike one at the bottom of the zone. 4-3 put out in the second, and then he grounded into a 4-6-3 double play in the fourth. So it's been a frustrating night at the plate for Austin Smith. The next one, he checks his swing. They'll check at third base, and he did not go. But Matt Klein was really emphatic. He thought that he went around. That should have been a strike. Don't really see Matt Klein get too aggravated behind home plate, but emotional there. But now this breaking ball is in the zone, and it'll be a 1-2 count on Austin Smith. Austin Smith today 0 for 2 as mentioned, but a guy in this lineup who has been productive throughout the start of the season and into the latter half has met some struggles, has 14 hits and a .222 hitter going into this ball game. Next pitch, breaking ball hit off the end of the bat, that one twisting down the right field line. It's just foul. Nearly hooked that one in play, would have been extra bases.
Baseball, a game of inches, and those few inches working in the favor of the Kettleers. There is a hooking foul ball right off the bat of Austin Smith, trailing right down the right field line. And that was destined for extra bases there, but lucky bounce for Cotuit.
Little pause before Austin Smith digs back in. With this 1-2 count, the runner on second is Landon Moran. Still one gone in this inning. Sampson takes a peek back there and comes home. It's a high fastball that he swings at and misses for strike three. So Austin Smith climbs the ladder, and it ends up being the second swinging K of the day for Bo Sampson.
That's a big strikeout for Bo Sampson there, stopping the bleeding and keeping Landon Moran at second base as he elevates, and climbing the ladder is Austin Smith and waving through the fifth pitch of that at-bat.
Sampson just one out away from escaping the sixth. He comes set, the throw. Down in the zone beneath the knees of Chris Barr, who digs in and is 0 for 2. Pair of flyouts to the outfield, and the now Army center fielder digs in for the first time against Bo Sampson, the last batter in this lineup that Sampson has not faced. Throws a looping breaking ball that dots the bottom of the zone for a called strike. But Chris Barr was called upon to step up in a big moment for the Firebirds, who a couple weeks ago were down with one of their outfielders, Landon Moran, and a guy who hadn't played center field since middle school went out there to get the start for Kelly Nicholson, and he took a chance on him, and likely he won't be taken out of that center field spot because Chris Barr has been phenomenal out there at center. So it just shows you the determination and the mentality and character that this team has in Orleans. That one taken low and outside, and it's a 3-1 count to Chris Barr. Kelly Nicholson was talking during their losing skid last week, saying how this is the team with just about the best character that he has ever seen. As that one's shot on a one-hopper towards Advincula, it's in and out of his glove. It goes straight away towards center field. Incoming in to score is Moran. His slide home is safe there to score the third run of this ball game. It's a two-out RBI single for Chris Barr, and the Firebirds lead at 3-0.
That ball was shot right off the bat to Jaron Advincula at second base, and we've seen Advincula make a couple of those plays this year. Just a ball that got on him in a hurry, was shot right back up the middle, deflects off of his glove, goes into center field, and timely hitting and two-out hitting once again favoring the Firebirds.
Here's Lorenzo Miola, right-handed bat, will send this fastball high into right center field, or in the right field, twisting towards out of play. Taylor was giving chase, but he meets the fence, and it goes over the netting there and into the seats. So it'll be an 0-1 count on Lorenzo Miola. He was the first man to face Bo Sampson. He flew out to right field on a similar fly ball to that one we just saw. But now Mickey Garcia is giving Matt Klein an extra couple of seconds. It appeared something flew into his eye, his left eye. He is now trying to clean that out. Blinks a few times, and he's ready to go. Nice gesture there for Mickey Garcia, who's had to deal with a couple of different injury situations tonight, and he's handled it really well.
And his own yesterday, taking a line drive right off the ankle. True warrior, Mickey Garcia.
Gets back behind the plate, and that one fouled off the cage of Matt Klein. 0-2 now to Miola. Yeah, that was in the first inning last night. Line drive off it. It looked like the left ankle. He was standing at first base. Obviously stayed in that game. Back behind the dish tonight. It's a great story. Third pitch is cut on and missed for strike 3. Lorenzo Miola goes after a high fastball. The runner was going, but it didn't matter as Bo Sampson is able to work in and out of trouble here in the bottom of the 6th. They do score 2 runs, and the Firebirds are now leading 3-0 through 6 at Eldridge Park.
The O'Rourke family has been catering Cape Cod clam bakes, making your events delicious and memorable. Founded by Jake O'Rourke, Jake's Clam Bakes has become a beloved tradition, now carried on by his son, Dan. Choose from our menu options, and on the day of your clam bake, their crew will come to your site and steam a fresh, mouth-watering clam bake just for you. It's that easy. Call us at 833-252-6285 or visit our new takeout location at Building 6 on 3821 Route 28 in Marston's Mills. Email us at dan@jakesclambakes.com with your event details, number of guests, date, time, location, and any special requests like a raw bar, homemade desserts, or kids menu. Not catering? Try their takeout menu featuring lobster rolls, smash burgers, salads, sandwiches, and a smoothie bar. Jake's Clam Bakes, making Cape Cod gatherings unforgettable.
With 30-plus years of personal injury litigation and insurance negotiation experience, Snow Law Firm is your go-to for wrongful injuries and rightful compensation. Snow Law Firm will secure the maximum amount of compensation available through settlement or trial. Schedule a free case evaluation by calling 508-477-7100.
Itsuki Takamoto's day is done. He goes 6 innings, doesn't allow any earned runs, 4 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. And just a stellar day for the second start of the summer for the right-handed pitcher out of the University of Hawaii, and he'll send things to the bullpen today for the first time to Alex Kranzler, who just finished up his freshman season at Vanderbilt. And Kranzler, a familiar name as Alex, this is I guess you could call it the third try at this game that we've had. The first game being postponed to last Wednesday, that game being postponed to Saturday, that game being postponed to today.
A lot of attempts, and Alex Kranzler was supposed to start one of those games.
That's right.
Finally making an appearance against Cotuit. First game was supposed to be played on July 24th, and that got pushed back to July 28th. And finally, a week later, from the first time this game was supposed to be played, it's getting going.
Tyler Cerny leads things off against Kranzler. He'll take a fastball down the heart of the plate for a called strike 1. Alex Kranzler has been stifling in his last 2 appearances on the mound. He has the red glove in front of his face, and now from the windup, he'll deal an 0-1 pitch to Cerny, who takes outside on the breaking ball. It'll be 1-1 to him. He's 0 for 2 so far today. Fly ball to left field, fly ball to right field. And that's really kind of been the story all day for the Kettleers, as that fastball is in the zone. 1-2 to Cerny. Cerny didn't quite like that call.
Put his head down and kind of just looked dejected after that was called strike 2.
The 1-2 flings his bat out there and ticks it foul. Goes around about 60% there, just trying to foul that off into the netting. But Alex Kranzler, a 3.97 ERA through 9 appearances so far this summer, has thrown in just over 11 innings. Another breaking ball that is flared high and out of play towards the right side into the seats. A couple of fans will have a play on it. Looked like no one made the grab. A flock of kids headed towards just beyond the first base bag on the first base side there. So many fans are here in their lawn chairs down the right field line, but Tyler Cerny will take a fastball up and away. 2-2 to him. It is packed all the way from beyond the Orleans dugout all the way to the right field foul pole. Cerny's 2-2, and he's rung up for a called strike 3. Cerny's not happy as he falls back to 0 for 3, and it is a looking strikeout for him to start off the day for Alex Kranzler.
That ball dotted on the outside corner against Tyler Cerny there, who frustrated with a couple of calls in that at-bat, but Kranzler pitching him on the high and outside corner gets the call there, and Cerny just frustrated after that strikeout. And now Roberts is having a word with Mickey Garcia.
takes his mask off, sends a few words his way in the third base coach's box, but they'll both return to their posts for Nathan Hall's at bat. He's also 0 for 2. Ground out and a fly out. First pitch from Kranzler is a fastball low and outside, 1-0. But Alex Kranzler in his last 2 appearances, 1 2/3 innings, has allowed 2 earned runs, 5 hits, and that was after a great start to the summer where he had a 2.5 ERA through his first 7 appearances. But he'll miss low and outside once more, and Hall takes a 2-0 advantage. Nathan Hall getting back into the lineup today. Did not play in last night's game. Didn't play, or has not played in a game since Friday night at Bourne. Now he chops this one on the ground. It's past the glove of Shoup, but into the glove of Miola, who backhands and throws to first, but it evades the glove of Landon Moran, goes back to the camera well, and Nathan Hall is able to reach first. And he will stay there on first as that ball does not get into the dugout. But the Kettleers dugouters not happy with that call.
Kettleers dugout thought that ball went out of play, and Nathan Hall should be advancing to second base, and Cotuit should have a runner in scoring position, but Miola just misfired that ball, pulling first baseman Landon Moran well off the bag. And another base runner for Cotuit here, is base runners have really been tough to come for Cotuit so far today, and hopefully for the Kettleers' sake they can manufacture a run.
That's what Nolan Araki's trying to do after his former and future teammate just reached first base. He'll take a breaking ball low and outside on the breaking ball, and it's 1-0. He's 0 for 2. He grounded out and struck out his last time out. Those both against Takemoto, and facing Kranzler for the first time, who now has a slight pause as Mickey Garcia called time, but now Nolan Araki gets ready. That's a tough one to call, though, if you're a first base ump. It looked like it went into the camera well, as that one's tipped into the glove of Doherty. And back to 1-2 goes Nolan Naraki. 1-1 the count, actually, to Naraki, who's facing Kranzler, who is just 19 years old. Finished up his freshman season at Vanderbilt, a guy who was able to pitch for them late into the season as they lost in the semifinals in the SEC tournament to Tennessee. As this one gets away from the catcher Doherty, Nathan Hall was already taking off from first. He has that bag easily. Thought about 3, but he'll put the brakes on at 2. And the Kettleers are able to put that base runner in scoring position.
How many times Cotuit has had runners in scoring position, had Devin Taylor on second last inning, but Jaron Advincula grounded back to Itsuki Takimoto. Now with just 1 gone in the inning, have to do anything you can if you're Nolan Araki to put a ball in play and advance Nathan Hall up to third or potentially drop him in.
The pitch, Naraki gets underneath it, pops it up behind the press box, and it will sail out of play. Skies are darkening above Eldridge Park. What were once thick overcast clouds overhead, they're turning to a darker purple. The lights are, of course, on here. Plenty of trees above the left center field fence and straightaway center field, and shadowing that scoreboard down the left field line. Naraki swats at another one and fouls it away towards the school that's on the right side. So he keeps the count at 2-2. Of course, there's a large high school above the grassy hill that's on the first base side of this field. It's 314 to the right field corner, then it quickly juts out to 360. That's just in front of the Orleans bullpen. It's also 350 to left center where the Ketts bullpen is. The pitch from Kranzler, 2-2, misses low and away to push the count full. It's a great at-bat here by Naraki, and a big moment, too.
6 pitches worked by Naraki, has laid off a couple of tough offerings from Kranzler here, and this is exactly what you want to do late in games, run up the pitch count and try and get a pitch that you can drive.
Kranzler set at the belt. Pitch to Naraki is hit hard into left center field. Charging in is Chris Barr. He's called off by the second baseman, but it finds green grass. No one's able to come up with that baseball. It looked like it was going to be Chris Barr. Lorenzo Miola was in there as well, but it turned out to be Mike Mancini, the second baseman, to miss that pop-up as they were playing a massive shift on the left side for Naraki, and he's able to reach first. Nathan Hall stayed at second because he thought that was going to be caught, so they'll have him on first and second with 1 gone for Luke Hansen.
Barr had to run a long way to come in on that ball, and Mancini, like you mentioned, Joe, with that shift going out, and like they just had a miscommunication losing that ball on the lights, but the Kettleers will take it. Just another ball that you put in play and let the defense try and make the plays, and Orleans struggling so far defensively here in the 7th.
So after a 7-pitch at-bat to Nolan Naraki, he's able to reach on an error. Back-to-back errors made by this Orleans team. As Luke Hansen takes an outside fastball for a called strike one. He didn't like that call, but digs back in as he's 1 for 2 already today. Notched his first double of the summer back in the 3rd inning. Kranzler comes set. The righty deals. Low and outside, ball 1.
There's a lefty warming up in the Orleans bullpen, Michael Foltz. Pitched against Cotuit earlier this season.
That'll be another familiar face, as Alex Kranzler wasn't able to get that appearance against the Ketts, and he fans and misses Luke Hansen here at a low and outside breaking ball. And he's down in the count 1-2. They actually ruled that Nolan Naraki play in shallow center field a hit. Did not go down as an error, so it was an error that put Nathan Hall on, but a single for Nolan Naraki, and he's 1 for 3. Next pitch, Hansen swats at that one and sends it towards the high school high and out of play over the Orleans dugout, and he stays alive at 1-2. Infield shifted to the left side for the right-handed swinging Luke Hansen, as the long blonde hair flowing out the back of that navy blue helmet. And the righty awaits. The pitch, fouled straight back once more. They just continue to elevate this pitch count for Alex Kranzler in his first inning of work.
22 pitchers so far, has only gotten the 1 out, and that came on the strikeout of Tyler Cerny. And bottom of the lineup really doing a nice job.
Hansen takes it low and away once more. It kicks away from the catcher Doherty, and both runners move into scoring position. And that's something else that can happen when you work the count a lot, make the pitcher make a mistake. Already seen this infield make a mistake, and the Kettleers are trying to take advantage.
Now that eliminates the ground ball double play. You have 2 runners in scoring position, and with a massive shift on for Luke Hansen, just try and shoot a ball the opposite way. Could potentially score 2.
Pitch from Kranzler. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Luke Hansen chases after a low and outside breaking ball. That's a massive strikeout for Alex Kranzler, and it could be the end of the line for him as Kelly Nicholson is out of the Orleans dugout ahead of Tanner Thatch's at-bat, so potentially going to the lefty Foltz here to face the lefty hard-hitting Tanner Thatch. With 2 runners in scoring position, the Kettleers trying to come back from 3-0 here at Eldridge Park. Don't go anywhere on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Discover a treasure of nearly 70,000 books at the Isaiah Thomas bookstore right here in Cotuit. Founded in 1969 and relocated to a restored 1860s Crocker family house in 1990, their shop is a haven for book lovers of any age. Visit the Isaiah Thomas bookstore on 4632 Falmouth Road in Cotuit or contact at 508-428-2752.
Since 1995, MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating has been your trusted commercial and residential plumbing contractor in Massachusetts. They specialize in new and rehabilitation work, gas and pipe fitting, climate control, heating, HVAC, oil burner work, boiler installation, radiant heat, forced hot water, air conditioning, and duct and sheet metal fabrication services. Founded and owned by Michael Pasic, a team of 9 skilled professionals is dedicated to providing top quality service. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating is registered with the Massachusetts Board of State Examiners of Plumbers and the Department of Public Safety. For all your plumbing and heating needs, contact MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating at 508-420-3429 or at 60 Clamshell Point Lane in Cotuit. MK Pasic Plumbing and Heating, proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
The new pitcher into the game for the Firebirds, it'll be Michael Foltz, and not the first time that we've seen him pitch against the Kettleers this year, Alex.
That it is not. Foltz got the start a couple of games ago for Orleans, 2 weeks ago to be exact, back on July 17th, as he went 2 1/3, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, and it was really just that 3rd inning that got away from Cotuit, put up 3 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, 1 in the 2nd as they came away with the victory in that game, but squared off against Tanner Thatch a couple of times. Thatch went 0 for 1, struck out and walked, and Thatch the first batter that Foltz will see coming out of the bullpen in such a big spot, and we've seen Tanner Thatch come up clutch so many times this year, but none really bigger than this moment so far. Runners on second and third. Nathan Hall leads off third, Naraki off second. And for a Cotuit team that has struggled to score runs today and really manufacture base hits, you have arguably your top hitter coming up against a guy that the Kettleers have had success against.
And you see the top of this lineup with those 5 lefties. It makes sense to bring in the lefty Fultz here to face those guys, but Tanner Thatch clearly not a guy that you want to overlook at the top of this lineup. And so far today he's 0 for 3, but what are you looking for from him in this at-bat against Fultz?
Well, we saw earlier in the game just this Orleans pitching staff attacking Thatch up in the strike zone and got him a fly out to the left fielder Austin Smith a couple of times and rolled over on a ground ball. So for Thatch to potentially be more disciplined at the dish and try and lay off the pitches at the top of the strike zone.
Tanner Thatch, the second highest batting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League with runners in scoring position, a .419 clip. He digs in, facing Michael Fultz, who comes set from the stretch. He fires, and that's a hard-hit ball headed towards first base. Up with it is Landon Moran. He races Tanner Thatch to the bag, and he beats him for the 3rd out of the top of the 7th inning. So Michael Fultz enters into the game to face Tanner Thatch with 2 runners in scoring position, throws 1 pitch, and is able to get that 3rd out. So the Kettleers strand 2 in scoring position and still trail 3-0 as we go to the home half of the 7th here on the Kettleers Radio Network.
Ice Cream Parlor, located on Route 28 in Mashpee, right at the Barnstable town line. Our creamy, homemade ice cream flavors will let kids get a free cone on home game days. Call us at 508-5553 or email info@polarcave.com to learn more. Come chill with us and experience the coolest treats on Cape Cod.
RCA Electric and Generators is dedicated to helping homeowners and building contractors select, purchase, install, and maintain the ideal generator for their specific needs. Since being founded by Randy Agnew in 1990, this Barnstable-based family-run business has grown its reputation by serving all of Cape Cod, the South,
with good times and good friends. Discover all that and more at
A new pitcher is into the game for the Kettleers as we take you to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Firebirds on top 3-0. Both teams exchanging 5 hits, though. As you're listening to the Kettleers Radio Network, Joe Pratt, Alex Rocco are with you. Jimmy Middleton joining the broadcast earlier today. Shane Patagna, a couple of sideline hits here in the second half today, and he'll join Mike Roberts after this ball game with a post-game interview. But a couple more innings before we get to that point, as Max Martsolf is the new pitcher into the game for the Kettleers. The tall lefty threw yesterday for the Ketts in that 6th inning where Mike Roberts went to the bullpen on 2 separate occasions, using 3 different arms in that 6th inning. And Martsolf, Alex, should be pretty fresh for today.
That he should. Only threw 6 pitches yesterday and allowed a walk against Daniel Dickinson before his day was done, and definitely should be fresh, and looking for this Kettler bullpen to continue to come in, throw strikes, and eat up innings, and that's exactly what Bo Sampson did in his debut. Went 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit, 2 runs, but both were unearned.
He'll face 8-9-1 Mike Mancini, Evan Griffiths, and Hudson Shoup. He comes set, throws a breaking ball that finds the dirt nearly in the right-hand batting box. And an easy take. 1-0 for Mike Mancini. He's 1 for 2. RBI single back in the 2nd to open up the scoring in this ball game. They fell silent until the 6th frame, where they brought home 2 more to take this 3-0 advantage. There's another breaking ball from Martsolf. This one dialed in low and inside for a called strike 1. 72 miles an hour on the gun there for Martsolf on that turning breaking ball. A guy who was in the back of the bullpen for the Bethesda Big Train in the Cal Ripken League back in 2023 and at the start of this summer, as that one runs up inside and actually hits the wrist of Mike Mancini. It's tough to tell if that one made contact with the bat at all, but it looks like it hit off the bottom of his hand. One of the training members, or members of the training staff for Orleans, will walk up the first base line with him. Scary moment there for Mancini.
Hopefully he's okay, just trying to shake things off and stay in this ball game. And Mancini, another one of these guys that has been with Orleans from the jump and started this season, and though he hasn't had the success that maybe he would like, hitting just .223 this summer. Came up with a big hit and played at the first run in this game, gave Orleans the 1-0 lead all the way back in the second inning. So good signs, and looks like Mancini's okay and staying in the ball game.
Yeah, he's going to stay on first. As the new batter is Evan Griffiths. He's 0 for 1. Took a hit by pitch his last time up in the 5th. He'll show bunt here on the breaking ball that misses low and away. A 1-0 count to Griffiths, who's trying to advance a man into scoring position. It's been really cool to see the way these two managers manage against each other. Kelly Nicholson and Mike Roberts both being in this league since the early 2000s, and that experience really showing off in this season series in 2024. As Griffiths was showing the bunt there again, Matt Klein snagged it at the bottom of the zone for a called strike one. So it's a 1-1 count to Evan Griffiths, who took the first of 3 hit by pitches in 3 straight innings for the Firebirds. That one in and out of the glove of Matt Klein. He scampers to his left to get it and looks Mancini back to first. It'll be a 2-1 count on Griffiths. We've seen these managers go to the small ball a lot of times, and they've played a lot of close baseball games. So needless to say that that's the way that they've played this season series. Been both of their philosophies is trying to play for 1 run at a time. As that one into foul territory, Griffiths pushes this count to 2-2. Not his first taste of summer ball. Played last year in the North Shore and in the NECBL. 308 hitter there. 117 at-bats, knocked 36 base hits, and made his way back to Stetson this season to hit .260. And now he turns on this one. It goes past the sliding glove of Nolan Naraki down the left field line. Up to second goes Mike Mancini. He stops there as the throw comes in from Compton. But it's back-to-back base runners to start off this 7th inning for the Firebirds, and here comes the top of the order.
Griffiths shot that ball right down the third base line. Naraki went into the slide, but that ball blistering by him. And really nice at-bat by Evan Griffiths. Laid off a couple of tough pitches on the outside part and inside part of the plate, but got a pitch low and inside, turned on it, and hammered it right down the left field line.
Both of these coaches will exchange signs. Mike Roberts going with some defensive alignment changes. Tyler Cerny is playing nearly right behind Nolan Naraki. The runners are on first and second for Shoup. He fights that one off down the third base line, and a broken bat goes out of play. Down in the count 0-1 he goes, and he is 0 for 3 today. A couple of ground outs and a line drive to Naraki at third. But he'll grab a new piece of lumber. The first one was an all tan bat. Now he goes back into the dugout. He grabs a all black barreled bat with the bright red handle. Go over to the on deck circle, rub some pine tar on the midsection of that bat, and he is ready to go. Some of the best jerseys in the CCBL, I think, Alex. Orleans.
Yeah, they're really clean. Have the red on the sleeves, the script Orleans in red on the chest, and just an overall really nice look.
Love the vest look with the red sleeves. Much similarly to the Angels of the early 2000s, as that one's up and inside. Taken for a ball, and Shoup is back to 1-1.
Jaron Advincula just dancing and trying to juke out and fake out Mike Mancini over there at second base. Advincula putting on a couple of moves.
Dancing around at second, now back into his position as the pitch is low and away to Shoup, 2-1. And now Mike Roberts will give a few signs to Matt Klein, who's out in front of home plate to give a few signs to the infield, who seemingly go back to relatively normal depth with the corners still in. But it's a 1-2 count on Hudson Shoup. Here it comes from Martsolf. He fouls it straight back. Off the top of the screen there, and Hudson Shoup is able to stay alive. He's someone who comes from the Tri-Cities area in Washington. Those consisting of a couple of different cities, Kennewick, Pasco, Richland, and West Richland. That's where Shoup's from, West Richland. Now he shoots this one straight back to the mound. Martsolf snags it in his glove and now throws to first in time there to get the double play. So they double him off. Hudson Shoup gets one off the end of his bat. Martsolf fields it, twists, and throws to first. And just like that, there are 2 down in the 7th.
Such a huge play by Max Martsolf, fielding his position well, making the grab and twisting his body and throwing it Really nice throw over to first base and plenty of time to double off Evan Griffiths, as just like that, one swing of the bat and all the momentum that Orleans was building simply vanished.
His first pitch to Doherty, in there with the fastball for strike one. Faced the first two batters in this inning, allowed them to reach base. Mike Mancini is still on second, but a lot to unpack there on the double play for Martzoff, as that one's low and inside. Doherty had to get out of the way of that one, and it's backhanded by Matt Klein, who keeps it in front and keeps this count at 1-1. So the runner is on second still. Mancini takes an 8-step lead there as the infield shifts slightly to the pull side for the right-handed swinging Doherty. Next pitch is a fastball turned on towards straightaway center field. Nate Hall started back. Now he sets camp under it and pulls down the final out of the 7th inning. So a great job by Max Martzoff and the rest of this Kettleers infield to hold down the Firebirds after they put the first two batters of the inning on base. After that, 3 up, 3 down, and thanks to that double play from Max Martzoff, who keeps the Kettleers behind 3-0 as we go to the 8th.
Each week, the Cape Cod Baseball League is honoring those who served with Red Shirt Fridays. Every home team on Fridays wear red Cape League uniforms and an Army camouflaged hat. For every Friday game at Lowell Park, the Kettleers are honoring a hero of the game presented by the Massachusetts State Lottery. For exclusive Red Shirt Friday gear like fitted player hats, head to the Kettleers store at the ballpark. We hope you can join us for a Red Shirt Friday at Lowell Park this season. For over 40 years, Vollmer & Son Construction has proudly served its community, providing a wide range of construction services, from bathroom renovations to complete home remodels. When you work with Vollmer & Son, you are being taken care of by natives of Cape Cod who support the community by using local suppliers and subcontractors. Vollmer & Son Construction, a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers.
Looking to connect with the right business? ZoomInfo's got you covered. With a database of over 100 million company profiles, they provide top-notch data to boost sales and marketing growth. Since 2007, ZoomInfo's B2B data quality has ensured that businesses have the best intelligence right at your fingertips. Discover more at zoominfo.com and see how you can get connected today. Michael Fultz is back out there for the top of the 8th inning. Brandon Compton will lead things off for the Ketts. He bats in the 2-hole. Devin Taylor will bat after him, followed by Matt Klein. So it's 2, 3, and 4 today, or I guess in this 8th inning. But the 2, 3, and 4 today is Brandon Compton, Taylor, and Klein. That's who Michael Fultz will face here in the top of the 8th. It'll be a lefty-on-lefty matchup as Fultz brings the glove in front of his face, dips it back behind his head, and now throws from the windup. And that misses low and outside. It was a breaking ball that Compton was taking all the way, and it's 1-0. He's 1 for 2, launched a single his last time up back in the 6th inning, started off the day 0 for 2. Next pitch is a fastball low and in, and he's ahead 2-0. So it's a similar situation to we saw last night for Compton, who took a 2-0 advantage, serving as the last batter in that ball game. Took a couple of big hacks, and now he takes an emergency swing there. Could not hold back as that one nearly hit him up and inside, but he does go around, and it's 2-1. But he came up to the plate last night with runners on first and second, 2 outs in the inning, took advantage in that count, as I just mentioned. Took a couple of healthy hacks, but that game eventually ended in the Mariners' way, as that is another big hack from Compton down in the zone, and this count will be 2-2. But Michael Fultz works into his 7th game so far this summer. Hails from George Washington University, and this past season at GW, a 2.92 ERA. With the glove just above his belt, now he brings it in front of his face, and the windup to Compton is a fastball low and outside, and this count will be full. A lot of long at counts last inning. Just what the Kettleers need, really.
Continue to run up the pitch counts, and after Fultz came in, just threw 1 pitch against Tanner Thatch. This is a good at-bat by Brandon Compton.
The 3-2 offering. Compton watches it go up and inside. He moves his arms away from that one, points towards the sky, and he's headed to first with a full count walk.
Compton's such a patient hitter, and this is something that I feel like we've talked about almost every broadcast, just the patience for Compton at the dish. Such a hard hitter to really get out, and even when he starts off the day 0 for 2, got a single in his last at-bat, reaching here on a walk, and Brandon Compton just continues to deliver for the Kettleers.
Compton reaches for the second time today. Wasn't able to reach last night. And Devin Taylor takes a fastball up high from Foltz. 1-0 to him. He's reached twice today, once in the fourth, once in the sixth. But when looking at last night's 7-5 loss to Harwich, they were out hit 13-7, and there were no hits from the crucial 2 through 5 spots in the lineup. Devin Taylor rockets this one on the ground foul just past the third baseman Shoup and brings this count to 1-1.
Mike Roberts made a play on that ball.
Oh, really?
Sticking out the left hand.
We don't see that very often.
Really nice grab by Mike Roberts.
Nice. Oh, it's really tough to tell from this vantage point. But we've seen Will Thompson make a few plays at first. That one thrown to first, and Compton's back in there standing up. It's amazing to see the scorching fly balls or foul balls that go right past Mike Roberts, and he doesn't even bat an eye, but every time the ball goes towards Will Thompson, it's like the world is ending. Pitch to Taylor, down in the zone, called a strike. Taylor didn't quite like that call, but it was a nice breaking ball from Michael Foltz. Brings this count to 1-2. So Devin Taylor going to have to battle back in this count. With the runner on first, it's Brandon Compton. Lefty comes set, and Foltz takes a look at first, and now from the stretch he throws. It's actually going to have to wait as he fires to first, but Compton in there standing. They've been throwing to Compton a lot over at first base this game. He's only attempted two stolen base attempts so far this season, has completed one of them. He's 1 for 2. Takes a short lead, and the pitch to Taylor. Cut on and miss, strike 3. Goes after a low and outside breaking ball, and Michael Foltz picks up his third K of the outing. First K of the outing it actually is on Foltz, and Taylor goes down for the first out.
Second K today for Devin Taylor, and Foltz just tossing an off-speed pitch, and Taylor a rare time where he expands his zone, chased the off-speed pitch low and outside.
First pitch to Matt Klein. Takes on the outer edge for a called strike 1. Matt Klein today is 2 for 3. 2 singles and hasn't skipped a beat even after the short All-Star break. As Michael Foltz will come set. High leg kick, and he deals home. It misses low and outside. Sliding to get it is Ian Doherty in the righty box. Matt Klein bringing this count to 1-1. That flag in center field has been active all night, but it's mostly been blowing towards home plate, towards the first base side, causing a lot of tricky fly balls that we've seen plague both of these outfields. Foltz comes set, nods up and down once and throws. It's spiked in the dirt. Doherty keeps it in front. He'll look Compton back to first. That's a great block there by Doherty, who's played a nice backstop position tonight.
There's been a couple of balls that thought were destined to get back to the backstop, but Doherty putting his body out on the line. Though it got away from him slightly, Compton staying put, didn't get a good jump, and wasn't too far enough to get away for Compton to try and advance in a scoring position.
The 2-1 to Klein. Foltz fires, but he'll fire to first base instead, and Compton in there standing up again. Just 1 steal on the year for Compton. Stays put at first base. Middle infielders playing normal depth. Hudson Shoup is about 8 feet off the line at third. Moran holding the runner on at first. Klein chops that one foul towards the first base dugout. It'll be a 2-2 count to him. The Johnny Bench Award winner back in 2021. That's given to Kentucky's top high school catcher. And this season at Louisville, committed just 8 errors in 41 starts for the Cardinals. It's a good mark for a guy who worked his way into the starting catching position this spring. As he goes after that low and outside fastball and comes up empty. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Michael Foltz, and 2 gone in the 8th.
Foltz dicing right through the heart of this Kettleer order after the leadoff walk to Compton. Back-to-back strikeouts of Devin Taylor and Matt Klein. Just another instance where Klein expanding the zone, attacking at a pitch that was well low and outside.
So Jaron Advincula was 4 for 8 in his last 2 games going into this one. So far today is 0 for 3. Now he chops this one above the glove of Foltz, and that one straight into the glove of Miola, who taps the bag at second to get the force play there to end the top of the 8th inning. So Michael Foltz was efficient after giving up the Leadoff walk to Brandon Compton, and the Kettleers still trailing 3-0 as we go to the bottom of the 8th here on the Ketts Radio Network.
Since 1988, Advanced Embroidery has garnered national awards in embroidery and screen printing. They offer screenings on golf shirts, Oxford shirts, jackets, t-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, and bags. Advanced Embroidery will print your company's or team's logos anywhere. Thousands of satisfied customers can attest for Advanced Embroidery's attentive customer service, tight quality control, and quick turnaround time. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday on 38 Plant Road in Hyannis.
Beacon Gardens is a full-service garden center right here in Mashpee. They sell a variety of landscaping materials and seasonal produce to both consumers and landscaping professionals around the Barnstable Village. Stop by and see all Beacon Gardens has to offer at 182 West Barnstable Road in Austerville.
The Kettleers baseball clinics are well underway in the summer of 2024, offering boys and girls ages 6 through 17 with the opportunity to learn from some of the most experienced coaches and some of the top college baseball players in the country. With no prior baseball experience necessary, the camps teach kids the fundamentals of baseball, as well as good citizenship, sportsmanship, and character. With just a few weeks of camp left, time is running out. So to sign up, head over to info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. Again, that's info.collegebaseballcamps.com/CK. We hope to see you there.
Operating on Cape Cod since
Bottom of the 8th inning from Eldridge Park. Max Martsolf is back out there for another inning of work, and he hit the first batter he faced, gave up a single, but was able to respond really nicely after that, Alex.
That he did, and just like you mentioned, Joe, and of course that obviously helped out with the 1-3 double play as Martsolf looked down, found the ball in his glove, made a strong throw over to first base to double off Evan Griffiths, and then got the fly out of Ian Doherty to end the inning.
Landon Moran will lead off the frame. Lefty on lefty matchup. Martsolf throws, it finds the dirt, 1-0 the count to Moran. So far today has reached on an error. He came around to score in the 6th inning, singled in the 4th, flew out in the 1st. As Ziegler takes low and inside. 2-0 the count to him. Hails from the left side with a lot of activity in that battle of it above his left shoulder as Martsolf throws a fastball on the outer edge. That a called strike. 2-1 the count to him. As Ben Ziegler today has been able to notch a hit. Sacrifice bunt the last time he was up. And a guy in his last 10 games going into this one was 12 of his last 32 as that one takes a funky hop, but gloved by Jaron Advincula above his head, and he throws to first to make the out.
Jaron Advincula got up for that ground ball there, took a high hop off the dirt as the 6-foot Jaron Advincula elevating to haul that ball in and still make the throw in time to nab Ben Ziegler.
So here's Landon Moran, first baseman today. And it's another lefty on lefty matchup. He'll watch a fastball go too far outside, 1-0. Moran out of Stetson. 284 hitter there this past season, started all 62 games for the Hatters. Next offering from Martsolf is a breaking ball that goes in and out of the glove of Matt Klein and called a ball. Moran with 4 homers, 36 driven in at Stetson this past season. Same amount of home runs and RBIs that he had just a summer ago as that one takes low, he takes it low and outside. And Moran in the driver's seat as Martsolf has struggled to find the first couple pitches in these counts, find the zone, but he comes set here with another chance. He takes a deep breath and throws. It's another fastball that misses low and away, and Landon Moran heads to first, his 18th walk of the summer, and he reaches first base for the 3rd time today.
Martsolf attacking Moran on the low and outside part of the plate, and Moran disciplined, didn't expand his zone on any of those offerings, and takes the 4-pitch walk and reaches for the 3rd time today.
So here's Austin Smith Tall left-handed bat will take a breaking ball low and outside. Matt Klein had to go in the right-hander's box to field it. And it'll be Austin Smith, who's playing in his 19th game so far this summer. A .317 hitter at San Diego this past season. 38 driven in, and now he'll take another breaking ball low and away. Started all 56 games at San Diego this season, but also appeared a bit as a pitcher at a 3.4 ERA. Next pitch is a fastball at his knees, dotted there, and making this count 2-1. That was coming off of a sophomore season, 2023 at San Diego, where he also had a similar ERA as that one gets away from Luke Hansen. It goes up the first base line. The pickoff attempt goes haywire as Hansen goes to field it, and Landon Moran advances into scoring position with one gone.
Moran, such an active base runner. Talked about his base running prowess earlier in the game. Has swiped a couple of bags this year and dancing off the bag as Martzoff tried to catch him sleeping, but his pickoff move goes awry and down that right field line, and now Orleans has a runner in scoring position.
So the 2023 All West Coast Conference second teamer is ahead in the count. Now he shakes his head after that one, goes up and inside, and he takes it for a ball. It's a 3-1 count to Austin Smith. 12 multi-hit games as a sophomore, started in all 50 games, and that was after starting off his college career at UC San Diego. Next pitch from Martzoff is a fastball dotted at the bottom portion, and he brings the count up to full. It's 3-2. But attended UC San Diego, didn't get as much time there as a two-way player. Starting in most of his games in the field, didn't get too much time as a pitcher, and the 3-2 offering is rocketed down the right field line, twisting out of play. Boy, that would have been a round tripper if he was able to straighten it out, but he'll stay alive in the count at 3-2.
That ball was crushed to deep right field. Just like you said, if Austin Smith waits back just a couple of more seconds, it's another 2 runs on the board for Orleans, takes a 5-0 game, and this ball game would have been broken wide open.
Martzoff throws, and the 3-2 misses in the dirt. Austin Smith reaches first base for the first time today, so he's still 0 for 3, but add a walk to his box score. And Chris Barr will dig in. He's 1 for 3.
Martzoff struggling with command so far, back-to-back walks. So hit a batter last inning, and really didn't see that in his appearances with the Bethesda Big Train in the Cal Ripken League. Just such a consistent pitcher with the Big Train.
First pitch is a looping breaking ball at the bottom of the zone to Barr, called a strike 1. But yeah, you're right. He was 1-2 this season, his second summer in the Cal Ripken League, but had a 3 ERA, 21 innings pitched, 14 total appearances. As he takes a look at second and throws. That one tipped into the glove of Matt Klein, and he's ahead 0-2 on Chris Barr.
He had just 8 walks in those 14 appearances and 21 innings pitched. Struck out 44 hitters in those outings.
Just amazing to see the consistency across 2 years in the Cal Ripken League, as this one is hammered down the left field line, twisting out of play, giving chase is Brandon Compton, who will not have a play on that baseball. It goes out of play, and staying alive at 0-2 is Chris Barr, who flew out twice to start off his day and then knocked an RBI single a couple innings ago in the 6th. But continuing to talk about Martzoff's Cal Ripken career, a 3 ERA in 2023, and went on to have that exact same mark this summer. Next pitch, beneath the knees of Barr, he takes low. It's 1-2. 21 innings pitched in Bethesda last summer, 21 innings pitched this summer, was the guy who settled into the back of the bullpen for them there. Making his way to the Cape League for the first time as he picks up a strikeout here on Chris Barr, who chases after a low and inside breaking ball. And that is a crucial second out of this 8th frame for Max Martzoff and the Ketts.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Joe. A crucial second out is after back-to-back walks, Martzoff really had to bear down and got the swinging strikeout against Chris Barr, who's had a tough day at the dish, and now just 1 out away from stranding another 2 runners on base.
Here's Lorenzo Miola. That one nearly hit him on the left foot. Had to get out of the way of that one, and Matt Klein was able to glove it just behind him. But he's facing Lorenzo Miola for the first time today is Martsolf. So far, he's 1 for 3. After that double in the second inning is 0 for 2. Martsolf ready. And the breaking ball misses up and away. Martsolf coming off of his junior season at Florida Atlantic, where he went 2-0, made 19 appearances there. 21 innings pitched, where he allowed 17 earned runs. Struck out 22. Takes a peek at second, and now the fastball home is in there for a called strike. So quickly fell behind Lorenzo Miola, but now brings it back to 2-1, and again having to battle his way back into this count. With the infield and outfield straight up, here he comes. Another fastball fouled straight back into the padded backstop at Eldridge Park, and it'll be a 2-2 count to Lorenzo Miola. Miola, the only man that hasn't faced Max Martsolf yet, still dealing with those runners on first and second. There are 2 gone here in the 8th. 3-0 Orleans leads. That turning breaking ball turns too far inside, and it'll be a 3-2 count on Miola. Infield shifted away from the middle towards the left side. Naraki close to the line at third. Big hole in the middle of the infield as Hansen plays about 12 feet off the line at first. Next pitch is a fastball that is sent on a one-hopper towards Advincula. He gloves it, flings it to first for the 3rd out of this bottom of the 8th inning. So the Firebirds once again put a couple runners on base, unable to bring any of them home though, as it's still a 3-0 advantage for Orleans, and the last chance for the Kettleers when we return here on the Kettleers Radio Network. Cape Cod Coffee is a proud sponsor of the Cotuit Kettleers. They offer breakfast and lunch, as well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape. Upgrade your lawn care with their modern irrigation systems. No more dragging around hoses or worrying about watering while you're away. Their systems ensure your grass stays healthy and green effortlessly. Transform your home with Coastal Irrigation's landscape lighting services. Enhance your outdoor gatherings, improve safety, and boost curb appeal with their affordable, low-voltage lighting solutions. Illuminate your walkways and highlight architectural details to make your home shine. Contact Coastal Irrigation at 508-428-1529 or info@coastalirrigation.net. Cape Cod Coffee. So we welcome you back in for the top of the 9th inning. The Kettleers are trailing 3-0, and Alex, it's not to say that they haven't had too many chances out there, as the offense has gotten base runners on, just haven't really been able to pick them up.
That's exactly right. Cotuit with 5 hits, and they struggled once again with runners in scoring position. They 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position, as they've left 8 guys on. When looking at the bounces and breaks that haven't gone the way of the Kettleers, they're just, it's hard to see another game where you're consistently not driving guys in when you have runners on second and third base. As you've seen in the last couple of innings, they've put guys on second and third. Going back to that 7th inning, they had runners on second and third with 1 out. Luke Hansen struck out, and then Michael Foltz came into the game, got the 3-1 put out of Tanner Thatch on just the first pitch of the at-bat. And that was a game where an inning where Cotuit was down 3-0. Maybe they put a ball in play. They get a ball in the outfield, sacrifice fly. It's a 3-1 game, and there's a little bit different feel heading into the 9th inning.
And it'll be the bottom of the order for the Kettleers here in the top of the 9th, who have been able to tally 2 total hits off the bat of Naraki and Hansen. But it's first Tyler Cerny, who's facing the newly inserted pitcher into this game. And he will turn and fire. The righty misses upstairs. Cerny takes a 1-0 advantage. New pitcher into the game for Orleans, Mauricio Rodriguez, making his second appearance of the summer. 1 2/3 innings so far. Pitch to Cerny, up and inside. It goes back to the backstop, 2-0 now. But Alex, rightfully so, as they bring in a right-handed pitcher to face the righties at the bottom of this order.
We've seen them do that a bunch of times. Of course, brought in Michael Foltz to face the lefties at the top of the order.
2-0 to Cerny. Up and inside, he'll watch that go by. Checked his swing slightly, but takes a 3-0 advantage now.
And Foltz came in and faced the 1 through 5 hitters in the Kettleer lineup. All 5 are lefties.
Rodriguez goes into his windup and fires at 3-0. It's up and inside, nearly clips the jersey of Tyler Cerny. And he's headed to first on a 4-pitch walk. That one running up inside, maybe might have clipped Tyler Cerny, but nonetheless he'll be on first with nobody gone.
I don't think the Kettleers will mind too much if it's a hit by pitch or a walk. A base runner is a base runner, especially in a 3-0 game where they've had runners on base, just haven't driven them in. Getting the leadoff man on is so vital, and you've seen the bottom of the order create a rally. Nathan Hall reached in the 7th. Nolan Naraki reached on a hit in the 7th, so maybe this could be a sign for things to come as the Kettleers trying to claw their way back.
And now it'll be Nathan Hall, still looking for his first hit on the day. He reached on an error back in the 2nd, 0 for 3 today. Righty on righty matchup as now from the stretch, here's Mauricio Rodriguez. And it's hammered on the ground towards shortstop. Up with it is Lorenzo Miola. His throw to second is in time, and they won't throw to first as Hall reaches there on the fielder's choice, but a key first out of the 9th for the Firebirds.
Hall hit that ball hard just right at the shortstop. Miola, who makes the easy play for one. It would have been a tough play to double up the speedy Nathan Hall, so he reaches. But I think Orleans will take that trade to keeping a runner on base, but they pick up the crucial first out.
Yeah, now it's from one guy who has a lot of stolen bases on this roster to another. Tyler Cerny with 4, Nathan Hall with 5 stolen bags, and Nolan Araki was showing the bunt there. He pulled it back, and it was a called strike 1. So 0-1 is the count to Nolan Naraki, who's 1 for 3 today. Facing Mauricio Rodriguez, who's in there for the 2nd time this summer for the Firebirds. Started off his summer campaign in the Valley League. Now from the stretch he throws. It's a breaking ball, low and away, taken for a ball 1. 1-1 the count to Nolan Naraki. Played for Purcellville in the Valley League, 15 innings there, 22 strikeouts, 6 earned runs, was good for a 3.6 ERA, and has yet to give up a run in his short sample size so far this summer with the Firebirds, as Rodriguez will fire, and it's a high chop to the on-deck circle of Cotuit, and it'll be a 1-2 count to Nolan Naraki.
Pitched well with Purcellville, and saw Zach Duenas also make the transition from the Valley League up to the Cape, pitching out of the Kettleers bullpen, and both of those guys, 2 key stalwarts at the back of the Purcellville bullpen that helped them make it to the Valley League Championship.
Next pitch to Naraki is roped on the ground towards third, up with his shoop to second. His throw to first is in time. So they turn 2 to end the ball game, Orleans. Initially with the ground ball to Shoop, Mancini's throw was perfect at first to end the ball game. So that puts an end to game 35 this summer, and the Kettleers drop their 2nd straight.
Rocky chopped that ball hard right to the third baseman, Hudson Shoop, and a quick turn, and hard to double up the speedy Nolan Rocky, busting it down that first base line. But it's a game of chances for Cotuit. Just like we had been talking about all broadcast long, they struggled hitting with runners in scoring position, and just a tough loss when you're really going to look back at it. 1 for 6 with runners in scoring position. They left 8 guys on base, and one that really got away from them is Cotuit with 2 errors, and they only allowed just 1 earned run. And the pitching staff did their job, just inconsistent fielding and inconsistent hitting.
Yeah, and that's something that we've talked about so much this season, Alex, is trying to get some good pitching and have the bats pick things up and just do exactly what they've been doing. But this is a pretty crazy stat that was just brought up to us from one of the writers for the Kettleers, Connor Smith. The first time the Kettleers have been shut out since August 3rd, 2022 against Bourne.
Just a crazy stat, and it's the first time they've lost back-to-back games all the way at the beginning of the month, July 2nd and July 3rd. One of those losses coming against Orleans, 4-3 at home, and then the 6-4 loss against Falmouth on the road. And Cotuit's played such great baseball in the month of July, just a tough night, and lost last night against Brewster. And with the games really starting to heat up and mean more, not the time for the Kettleers offense, and just not the time to go quiet and have inconsistent play on the diamond.
And inconsistency is something that we've talked about a lot, and it's a lineup that has been so consistent tonight, but really not finding that consistency 1 through 9. It wasn't the bottom half of the order in these past 2 games. It's the top half and the middle of the order going, and how huge is it for them to try to find their way at the plate in this next week?
It's massive, because although Cotuit has clinched their playoff spot, these games still mean something. They're fighting for having a home playoff game in that first round of the playoffs, so it's vital. You need to have your offense clicking 1 through 9, and that's something that Mike Roberts has talked a lot about so far this year, having all guys firing on all cylinders 1 through 9, and really did not see that tonight. It was a tough day at the dish for a guy like Tanner Thatcher was 0 for 4, Devin Taylor was 0 for 3, did reach on a walk, Jaron Advincula 0 for 4, Nathan Hall 0 for 4, but like you mentioned, it was the bottom of the lineup really trying to spark a comeback. Nolan Rocky had a base hit, Luke Hansen, he had a base hit, but of course Matt Klein with 2 hits, and that's just not going to cut it. Only 5 hits throughout, and when you're not hitting the ball well with runners in scoring position and you pile on that your first 3 hitters in the lineup were a combined 1 for 10, just not a recipe for success.
And it clearly wasn't tonight, but you also got to give some credit to Itsuki Takamoto, who got the start for the Firebirds, and he was stifling from the 1st through the 6th.
Takimoto was excellent. Pitched 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, walked a batter, and only struck out 2, and was letting his defense make the plays. And that's not something that we've really seen from Itsuki Takimoto this year. A guy that came into today with 21 strikeouts in 19 innings, a guy that likes to get ahead of hitters and punch hitters out, but you really didn't see that today. Let his defense make a couple of plays, and the Kettleers had some hard hit balls. They just found the gloves of a lot of the outfielders, and just an excellent start from Itsuki Takimoto, and now improves to 3-1 on the year and lowers his ERA to 0.71, and just crazy numbers.
Video game numbers, as we were bringing up yesterday, but it's not often that you talk about it with guys who are playing in the best summer league in all of college baseball, and that's exactly what Itsuki Takimoto is doing today, or did today, and has done throughout the entire season so far, and that's just been incredible to see for him. And also Mikey Ebner getting the start for the Kettleers. He goes 4 innings, and it was his first start for the Kettleers this summer. What'd you like from him?
Well, it was normal Michael Ebner, and I thought he did a really nice job bouncing back and battling back after that second inning where he ran into a bit of trouble, gave up the double to Lorenzo Miola, the RBI single to Mike Mancini, and he came in and gave exactly what the Kettleers needed. Went 4 innings, allowed 4 hits, just 1 run, only struck out 1, but providing this team with length and doing a really good job after Cotuit used 6 different pitchers just a night ago.
And Shane Patagna will be joined by head coach Mike Roberts at field level in just a few moments, but he recently exited the post-game conference there. It looks like he's talking with all of the pitchers, and then he walked away from it for a second and then walked straight back into the pile there. So continues to talk things over with the pitching staff, and that's exactly what he did last night, but it really wasn't the pitching that was the issue tonight. Just 3 runs given up by the by the Kettleers pitching staff. But right now, Shane Patagna and Mike Roberts are ready for us at postgame from Eldridge Park after this 3-0 loss. Shane?
Here with Coach Roberts after the 3-0 loss tonight. Coach, this is a game Orleans needed for their playoff hopes, and they threw out 4 of their best arms, shutting out the Kettleers for the first time this season. Was it simply just a night where the offense ran into a buzzsaw?
Not really. I think we ran into our own buzzsaw. Should have been 1-0 going into the 9th inning. We made a mistake that on a routine ground ball, and should have been 1-0, give us a chance to do some things in the 9th inning. They threw out good pitching, but not necessarily good enough to win the game.
Yeah, the pitching duel going into today's game as advertised, as Mikey Ebner in his first start this summer turns in 4 innings, 1 earned run. How important was it to get length from him today as he moves forward as a probable Game 1 starter in the postseason?
Yeah, he needed to move up a little bit. We don't want to overdo it. He went 70 pitches and did a great job. And Mike's obviously the only pitcher left on our staff from June. He's been our most consistent pitcher the whole summer. So he did a really nice job starting.
And Coach, with 5 games left this summer and playoff seeding still in the air, what are the team goals to finish out the year?
No, I don't really set goals up here. We just play 40 games, and where you are at the end of 40, then we go from there.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach. The Kettleers will take on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks tomorrow at home at Lowell Park. First pitch will be at 4:30 p.m.
Thanks, Shane. And thank you, Mike Roberts, for joining him after Game 35 this season. The Kettleers falling back to 21-13-1. Orleans improving to 13-22. And these are games that just mean a lot more for Orleans, and it was a much-needed win for them tonight.
They do, and we talked about it last night. Of course, with Harwich coming to town, that game meaning a lot for them, and all these teams jockeying for that final 2 spots to make the playoffs. Of course, just you never want to be that one team that doesn't make the playoffs from the East Division, and Orleans, and they really just put everything together in a complete performance, and they got the 2-out hitting, they got the starting pitching, and where Mike Roberts talked about the Kettleers maybe running into their ways, Orleans didn't do that tonight.
No, they absolutely did not. They created offense at times, and they took advantage of those mistakes by the Kettleers infield, and that ended up being the difference in the game. But tomorrow the Kettleers return home. They have 2 big home games against Hyannis and against Bourne. How huge are those 2 wins to come away, or those 2 games to try to come away with those wins?
Well, they're massive, and especially for a Hyannis team right now that's currently losing 10-3 against Chatham, where Chatham has hit 2 grand slams in the same inning. That's crazy, and it was that bottom of the 5th inning where they exploded for 8 runs in that game. But Hyannis, Wareham, and Cotuit all jockeying for the top 3 spots, and it's crucial with home field advantage. And maybe for a team like Cotuit, I know we've talked about it a little bit over the last few games, maybe you're more inclined to want to have a playoff road game because they've played so well on the road. But these games mean so much, and you always want to finish out the year on a strong note and bounce back from 2 consecutive losses.
And that's exactly what they'll be trying to do tomorrow night, bouncing back against Hyannis, and that'll be a 4:30 p.m. start time from Lowell Park. But that's going to do it from us here at Eldridge Park tonight as the Kettleers fall to the Firebirds 3-0, and it is the 4th and final time that these 2 teams will square off this season. So it's great to come here from Eldridge Park, and a great thank you to everybody who was so hospitable here, and of course the medical staff who was called upon at the beginning of the game, having to take one of the members of the Kettleers coaching staff off the field due to a scary foul ball injury in the beginning of this game. So a special thank you to everybody who was behind the scenes on that. And that's going to do it from Game 35 from Eldridge Park. For my broadcast partner Alex Rocco, for our sideline reporters today, Jimmy Middleton and Shane Patagna, and of course for our production guru Cam Christie, as always, I have been Joe Pratt. So we appreciate you spending a little bit of your Wednesday night with us here at Eldridge Park. The Kettleers fall 3-0 to the Firebirds, and we'll talk to you tomorrow from Lowell Park. As well as indoor and outdoor dining. Check out Cape Cod Coffee at one of their 3 locations, on Route 130, at Mashpee Commons, and at Wareham Commons, or on their website at capecodcoffee.com. When the unexpected happens, make sure you and your assets are insured appropriately. The agents at Leonard Insurance Agency can tailor coverage to meet your needs. Call 508-428-6921 to talk to their licensed agents today. For nearly 2 decades, Coastal Irrigation has proudly provided top-notch irrigation and landscape lighting services across Cape Cod. Starting with just a handful of customers in Cotuit, they now serve nearly all of the Cape.